Good morning. Good morning. I'm back. I'm back. I want to give some bit of minutes for you guys to get notified. Hi to you, the one in the bushes. Good morning. Good morning. We're going to chit chat for a bit. I have some stuff to do in the garden, quite a few things still left to plant out. And we'll talk about a few different things. So let me just let everybody get notified that I'm live because this platform doesn't always send it out right away. And we'll get going. So I hope everyone's doing well and doing good, and your garden's doing well and growing you some food. And if you are in the bushes, just share it out so that people can see. Sometimes you only see when somebody else shares it out, even though you're subscribed. Other people are just not seeing it. So I am going to give some updates on the garden, just some various things. It's been a couple of weeks. Good morning, Bouger. It's been a couple of weeks. I'm just going to give a few more minutes. I don't want to be on too long today because I have to. The weather's pretty cool, so I can get some work done without burning up outside. I'm having some weather issues. It's really weird, and I'll get into it shortly. But I'm sure you guys are having similar, or if you're in my zone, you're having similar problems, or just having problems in general. The weather is really weird, and it's definitely affecting the plants. Also give you an update on the sleep apnea test that I did and all the things that I'm doing to kind of get my health on track and what's going on in the world and what's going on in my city, my country. A few just talking points, but we're not going to go in too deep because I have to do a bit more research to find out what's going on. But I'm sure you all have heard there is a recall on cucumbers. I didn't know. I was in obviously under the rocks. I guess I live under a rock and I wasn't keeping up with that. Um put the camera on now. And there's a recall on cucumbers and I was like, "Well, what's the big deal? Like you wash the cucumber before you use it." So I checked yesterday. I did a little search on the internet to find out based on what they said that washing your produce does not kill particular pathogens or bacteria, whatever they classify it as. And salmonella is one of those things, which is what's on the cucumber. So it's like ish, like you can't even wash your cucumber. That's what they're saying. I checked. I don't see anything popping up recommending any kind of wash or any particular product or anything to mitigate the issues. Nothing, no professional entity is saying anything. I got old stuff telling you the recalls are getting out of hand. I found some old articles from 2016. Nothing really in the last 2 to 3 years with new technology, new information, nothing. So I can see why people are afraid, but I just I'm not saying I'm not concerned. I am, but I just refuse to be afraid of fresh produce. Like it sounds ridiculous to me in theory. I'm talking about that we have to be afraid of cucumbers and afraid of I don't know what's next, pineapple. Like this is a whole product. It's not like we're talking about those ready-made salads that are cut up and chopped up and handled by multiple people and machines and they say it's pre-washed and we're not talking about those. I'm talking about a whole complete apple, cucumber. I'm going to be running around afraid of produce. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, what are we doing as a food industry? Not we, literally, like, not we, the people, them, those people. What are they doing to cause all this bacteria and pathogens to be on raw food? Something's not adding up. Like, you guys are doing too many things wrong if we're constantly getting all these recalls. Um, and I agree with you, Bouger. They're doing to scare us to control us and control the food and nothing is really that's what I'm concerned about. Are we getting all hype and hyper and like stressed out? Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm going to eat. And then they're going to bring in this product that's going to save everybody and it's going to be so safe and we don't have to worry about nothing. Meanwhile, that's the food that they're putting all kind of stuff in there and nanobots and all kind of something in there to control our minds and control the people. It doesn't make sense that we have to be afraid of a cucumber. It doesn't make sense. Ultimately, it's just making more of us grow more food. Look at Bouger. Bouger didn't even like gardening. Prime example. Bouger didn't even like dirt. Bouger has more containers in her backyard than I've seen, and a lot of people who've been gardening for years. She have trees. She have herb garden challenge. She have hydro. I don't know what's going on. Who took Bougie and brainwashed Bougie? Because she is growing more things over there than I thought was humanly possible from someone who could not stand the gardeners. I like you as people, but I ain't taking on no damn gardening. I'm from New York. We ain't doing that over here. Hi, Tiger. Hey, Darren. And she's growing food, and this is goes to tell you, proves a point. And I know I saw Crafty Leo busting some 5-gallon buckets with tomatoes. I was in her little video. I watched it. I don't know if I think I said a thumbs up, but I watched it. It's not too hard. It's not difficult, but I don't know. Like, I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm like, the types of food that they're attacking, I can't put my finger on it. I really can't. But I'm finding it strange. Not strange, but like, it's definitely God. I believe in the God. I believe in higher power. And I believe he speaks in mysterious ways. Because I was mentioning to you all on a live that I'm definitely trying to grow all of my salad ingredients in my home, especially during the winter. And for me, it's tomato, lettuces, and any kind of leafy kind of greens and cucumbers. And that's why I purchased the Space Master from MI Gardner. And I'm growing it outside right now as we speak. Well, it's not outside yet, but it's gonna go outside as we speak. And then I'm gonna try to see if that's not too big of a plant for me to grow indoors. And last year for the MIG, or sorry, I keep calling it MIG, WIG. You know what I'm talking about, the winter indoor grow. I grew Tiny Tim tomatoes. And I think Brampton mentioned another compact tomato. That's what I was trying to do. And then as soon as I said that, maybe, I don't know, months ago, maybe even a year now, I'm saying that. Now look what's happening. Cucumbers are now under attack. And cucumbers are also being covered with the appeal membrane that can't be washed off. And I saw on the news that somebody was saying that because they don't want the appeal on their food and it's just being pushed down our throats. And they noticed that they bought stuff with the appeal on it. It's supposed to make things last longer, quotation marks for those who are listening, air quotes, and it's actually not making it last longer. The outside of the fruit or whatever the produce looks great, and when they cut it open, it's rotten inside. So there's a lot of complaints going forward. So hopefully they will stop using that, but they might just make it better and less detectable and make it not rot. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to find something. So I find it a little strange. Good morning, Drunken Chef. I find it weird that now cucumbers are of a concern. The food industry, as we already know, is a business, is a corporation, and the profit mentality is causing a lot of problems because they're not willing to do things in a more conscientious permaculture way. Every industry is going to produce some kind of waste, but the way that you handle the waste and give the land time to break it down is of importance. Not just throwing things in these pools and these slush ponds of just waste and toxic waste. It's back to the whole propaganda. Do I believe? I was believing the carbon footprint and the carbon. Now I don't believe in that. I think it's a whole propaganda machine, and the real pollution is coming from these industries, and they're not changing. But we have to stop eating meat, stop using gas appliances and gas power tool, gas machinery. Everything is, electric cars and all this stuff is happening. But what have you changed in the industries to make their impact less? They haven't. The water is still toilet water. The land is still being polluted. The air is still being polluted. It's pure, like, you can't tell me that me, a little person driving my one little car to go, run some errands here and there is affecting the whole earth and causing greenhouse gases. Like, come on. It's and when you look at like even getting things repaired. I bought an electric gas lawnmower because the gas ones are getting harder to find parts and things to repair it. And when you have to repair something, not even just the lawnmower, I had to fix the spring on my gas tank. I was messaging some people in a live one time. I'm like, I'm at the gas station and I pulled the lever, but the door won't open. And I'm like, looking like a criminal trying to pry it open. I pulled the lever, I left, went home, pulled the lever, and then somebody could open the door. And then I left it open and then went to the gas station and got gas, but it wouldn't open. So somebody I know, there's this young man who is a diesel mechanic. He told me to come to the shop and he just did something and sprayed some oil and moved the spring and did something to fix it because he goes, you can't just order a spring. You have to order a whole component just to get that part fixed. And that's how it is. You can't just get the little parts, the spark plug. You have to get a whole component to get these things fixed. So they've been pushing towards that direction for a while. Mind you, the electric is a lot quieter in terms of the lawnmower and my weed whacker. I do have some battery powered stuff, but I do like the gas. The gas gives you more power. Radiation coming from the car, you see? And my sister wants to get a electric car. I'm like, nah, maybe a hybrid, but I want to tell her to look that up because this is exactly what I'm concerned about. Um, Manufacturing of electric vehicles usually produces more of a carbon footprint than using. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's other things that we can do, but they're pushing this agenda. And if you're not careful, like you literally start to believe it, not because you don't have intellect, but because that's all you're hearing over and over, and you start regurgitating the same propaganda. And it's like, hold on, let me do a quick internet search and see for myself what's happening. And when you start to hear another perspective, it's like, oh, okay, even this whole organic food debacle, and half the food in the expensive stores from the red country, and they've been sprayed, and then there's no inspectors going there to inspect the food, but it's labeled certified USDA. Never raised and grown in the US nothing. And this is what we're buying things from that store for a lot more than buying it from the regular store. Anyways, it goes all back to the point. Grow some of your own food and become friends with local farmers. Make your um purchases from local farmers, not things that have been driven across 50 states, flown in from all these other countries. Um, the labeling industry is very corrupt as well because you're allowed to label things um, that were maybe finished in Canada or US. They were finished, but the components of it were not raised in Canada or the US. So if you're making a seasoning blend and you're buying seasonings from all over different countries, you don't know how they're being processed and what fillers are in these things, and then you mix them in your warehouse in North America and make a seasoning mix. Now it's US made. It's not US made. It's US mixed, but you can label it as US made goods and put, in fine print some ingredients sourced from outside of you know what I'm talking about. They can manipulate the words and the labeling to make you assume something, but you can't assume that. Um I know, and I'm pro recycling, Bouger. I believe in recycling. Let me drop the link. Forgot. I believe in recycling. I believe in, reduce, reuse, recycle. And then they use that against us because, we want to do what's best and not be so wasteful. And they ain't recycling nothing. Some poor child in some third world countries digging up through the garbage in the hospital. Never mind recycling hospital waste and digging through stuff to find something useful to sell or to make something with. It's disgusting. Disgusting. Anyways, to my garden, to the chickens. Chickens are doing okay. I have to give them a bath because I know Jamaica mentioned sometimes there could be a buildup or could be mites or dust or something. Anyways, because I'm not seeing two of them. I'm not seeing two of them. Their feathers looking very good. It's not coming back, so I'm going to take care of that. When it comes to the manure and the fertilizer in the chicken run, I didn't use the ones that I put in my compost bins up top of the hill. I dug up a part of the run, only maybe a quarter. I got to dig out the rest. I turned it, and when you look underneath, you can see the layers of leaf, manure, straw, grass clipping soil, like just nice layers, and that smell of that earthy smell. It doesn't smell of chicken manure. Hey Darren, let me make sure it's you. Let me just see your face real quick. Are you there, Darren? Okay, you can turn it off if you want. You can turn it off if you want. I just want to make sure it was you because there's too much crazy people going around in the street. Hey
Oh
Darren,
no, I understand. I understand. Hey, what's going on? What is going on? We're back in the
you
U.S.
back from your cruise?
Yeah, yeah, we're back. We're heading north, but I forgot. But yeah, I forgot you was on there. I wanted to talk to you because you're gonna get a good laugh. We were in what island was that, guys? Where the chickens were running wild? The
Oh, I think you
Cayman
were talking about
Islands.
Costa Rica. Oh,
Yeah,
Cayman.
no,
Oh,
it was
Cayman.
The Cayman Island. Roosters and chickens all over the place. I did a video that why the chicken crossed the road. The chicken was actually crossing the road. It was so freaking hilarious. But I thought about you. I thought about you all my homesteaders with all these chickens all over the place because they were like they just was running wild. It was really crazy. But I just
I
had a
guess they don't.
ball. It was hilarious.
I heard your story. We were talking about the jerk chicken, so I was there for that because I was popping in and out, in
Yeah,
your lives in the
yeah.
morning, and I
It was unbelievably delicious. For some reason I guess I just wanted jerk chicken from Jamaica, and we finally found a good spot where we could have the jerk chicken, and the sauce made the whole thing. It was like jerk chicken, peas and rice, and we had a wonderful
listen.
time.
Jamaicans call it rice and peas. Okay,
Oh,
rice
rice.
and
Oh, I'm sorry.
peas.
I'm sorry. I didn't take the Jamaican rice and
That's
peas.
islands call it peas and rice, and we argue with the other people. No, 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 no. And we have
The only problem I had was the heat. It was unbelievable. It was hot. That's a
it is
whole
hot. Like
different
I
type of
find
heat.
I haven't been back in a while, but I usually go like January, February, and I'm sweating.
Yeah.
And people are like, I
Yes.
can't. Yeah, like when you're not from there anymore. Like you have to get used to that heat. It's unbearable. Like you're melting,
Yes, yes,
melting.
and then we were melting, and again, the locals, that's how they make their money. They were trying to sell their stuff, but I was just trying to, we were walking, and I did no thank you, no thank you, no thank you, and then one person came up and tried to put a bracelet on my son. I'm like, I said no thank you, and
Well, that happened to
it
me,
was just
and I told him off because
yeah,
it's like I said no, and then they put it on your wrist, and then they want you to pay for it. I'm not paying for it because I told you I don't want the bracelet, and you didn't respect the no. And the whole week I was
yeah,
there,
yeah,
I was telling him off. He's like, "Oh, good morning! Don't say good morning to me. Don't don't even look." And I gave him back. My friend threw back the bracelet on the floor. She was so like, we said no, thank you, like nicely 4, 5, 6 times. And I know you're
yes,
trying to
yes,
hustle, but that's like assault with a bracelet.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, that
exactly.
pissed me right off.
And
And I had a
I had to
flashback. I'm
pop.
like, oh my god, I'm triggered.
That's why I came on the line. I said I got to tell Urban because you know what I was talking about with at Jamaica, and like I said, I had to apologize to my son. I said I apologize for sounding harsh, but these people, it's that's how they make the living. They force it. They try to force it down your throat. No, we're walking over here because I got something specific I wanted, and I wanted the Rasta hats. I want the real long ones with dreads, but they had the stuff for the Caucasian folks with sewn in dreadlocks on the hat. I didn't want all that. I just wanted a long hat because I got a big head. But that's beside the point. I just thought it was so hilarious. Uh,
I'm glad you had a good time and enjoyed the food. The food is
yeah,
phenomenal. The food is phenomenal, especially on the
I
streets,
wish.
like the restaurant.
Yes, exactly. I wish if they had that sauce, I would have brought that home. Oh my gosh, it was off the chain. But I'm gonna go ahead and step down because everybody's giving me the
Mhm.
side eye, looking at me, looking like, what are you doing? They didn't know I jumped on someone's live on YouTube, so I was just saying,
Oh,
hey,
okay.
tell everybody. I'll jump off.
Thanks
I'll
for
talk to you
popping by.
later. All right,
Okay, take care, dear. Hey,
all
Bouger.
right.
And all those in
Grand
the chat, I see
Rising,
you, Martiza,
Urban.
Yarn, and Juicing with Jay.
Grand Rising,
Welcome in.
everybody. I came up. I like you like to talk about stuff of it people don't like to talk about.
Exactly. It's like, do you have to go there? Why not? If we don't go there,
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
going to
we
go?
need to go there. We need to stop pretending stuff is not going on that's going on.
I was watching somebody this week on another live talking about juicing, and then she was talking about the
Mhm.
same thing you're talking about. There's no food shortage. There's no. So I'm like, is this Boucher's twin? Is this Boucher's daughter? And she said, there's no food shortage. That's just there's lots of food. It's, do you want to eat that kind of food? There's no shortage of bananas and apples and stuff, but you all you want is this fast food. Of course,
Exactly.
I don't care for that food. Let that be gone. And she just, I was like, oh my god, it was funny. There's no food
Yeah.
shortage. If there's no, if,
No,
she
it's
goes, if
not.
there's always going to be seeds, there's always going to be food. Like that's
Exactly.
not even an issue.
Exactly.
The food
It's funny you
system
said
may
that.
have infrastructure issues.
Right. I just was in showing my son around and the stuff that's growing, and I told him, I said, we should never, if you know how to do this, nobody should never starve to death. No,
Never,
never. I said,
never.
there's no way. I
I
said,
went into my garden. Go ahead.
um no, what I was gonna say, as long as you know how to garden, nobody should be hungry. That there's no way that we should be starving. When they was doing all of that, I told people, be careful of the mindset that these people are trying to make you have. Scarcity, lack. That's
Yeah,
the
you're right.
mindset that they're trying to get you into by keep telling you there's a shortage of food, there's a shortage of food. Be mindful. It's
You know how much food
also
they threw
a
out? You know how much food
programming
they threw out
also. Huh?
during the pandemic? You know how much food? Not even the pandemic. Even when you go back to the the I think the water issue. They found water that was stocked up from the Detroit or one of those towns that had the water issue, and people were sending water and donating water.
Michigan.
They found
Yeah,
old
you seen
schools
how they had all the water
full
in
of
the
water
rain?
that
It's
nobody ever
packed
got,
out.
hoarding it for themselves or for the whatever, and never
Wasn't giving
passed
the
around the
water
water.
out. I seen that. That's
And
nuts.
then there's another issue with something else happened. I can't remember where, if it was Katrina something, and they found all these supplies. And then even in the pandemic, oh, the shortage and there's no gloves and this and that and PPE, skids and skids out
Yes,
in the
yes, I
wilderness in the
seen that
water,
too.
rain, snow.
Did you see
So where's the
also
shortage?
the baby? Wait, remember the baby formula? Did you see the truck
Yeah,
driver that videotape? She took a truckload of baby formula somewhere so they could dump it, and was showing that they were dumping it off the truck, the
dumping
baby
lots of
formula.
it. So then you're kind of then I'm like realizing, oh, they're playing us for damn fools.
Yep,
Because you're like,
yep,
oh my God, formula, and people are looking how to make their own formula. And what did we do before there was formula? I think we that's the problem. We
exactly,
forgot.
exactly.
We are of the
What did
generation
we
where
do
all we
before
knew
there were
was formula.
supermarkets? What did we do before there were
We forgot.
supermarkets?
But they are so much waste. So there's no shortage because the amount of food
No,
that gets thrown out and wasted and
no,
medical equipment, medical product, it's ridiculous.
no. There
It
is no
doesn't cost
shortage.
them.
And
They
how
don't
how
get
do you
paid to
tell
give it
there's
out, so they
no
don't give it out.
right? And how do you tell that there's no shortage? You're in Canada. When you go to the supermarket, there's food in your supermarket, right? I'm in the United States. When I go to the 3, 4 supermarkets I got here, it's food in all 3, 4 of them. How is that a shortage?
There's no
And then you got
shortage.
the
There's
and then
so
you
much
got the
food.
restaurants. The restaurants
Yep.
has food in them. So how is that a
Mhm.
shortage? You got the gas stations, even though it's little snickety snacks and whatever, that's still food. So how is it a food shortage? Just because you go in and you
It's a,
see
you're right.
a
It's a mindset.
space, just because you see a space on the shelf, and say it's the tuna section, and it's just that when you know how many tuna brands it is, that's not a shortage. If you can't get tuna in that brand, but it got another tuna in another
Other
brand,
brands.
that is not
Yeah.
a shortage. You're just out of that brand, and that's it. You got to be careful of the
And
mindset that
I
they're
was like
programming you.
wondering, is it true or not? And then I finally came full circle. I'm like, yeah, it's a mindset. They're trying to get us in this, you're right, scarcity, worried, stress.
Mhm.
And then you go to the stores and you want to fight and push people down because you think it's the last. And then that causes a
Right.
lot of infighting,
But
and
then look
people
at the
acting
stuff they get
reckless,
in. Toilet tissue. I'm like, you think you're
foolishness.
gonna be doing that much caca and when like what?
Maybe
What
they
you
have
think you're
diarrhea.
gonna
Me
be
no know what happened
doing?
to them. Me no know. My chickens have not used toilet paper one time, so I'm sure we can go back to the cooching and they not use toilet paper. Them good, and that's what they do.
Mm-mm.
So I
It's
think we
just the
forgot
weird
how
stuff that
people
they
lived
be fighting over toilet tissue,
before.
disposable stuff. Like that's gonna run out. Like I'm not understanding. I was just mind
The
boggled
Costco
how I
here
went in
had
the
to ban
supermarket.
people from returning the toilet paper. They were buying so much toilet paper to make sure that they had and and they would sell like one person would buy a whole bunch and then nobody could get no toilet paper. And then they because Costco has a good return policy, they want to return it later on. And they're like, no, we're not taking it back. If you
As they
bought
shouldn't,
50
because you ain't had
packs,
no
then you're gonna
business
keep those
doing all of
50
that.
packs. Yeah.
Now, could you imagine all the extra food people bought and probably threw out because they didn't eat that much food during that time also? Like I went in one
Yep.
supermarket and that supermarket has an aisle where you have the aisle with just all bread. Urban, I turned the aisle, the whole thing, top to bottom, was empty. I said, is people losing their mind? Now you know good and well you is
They
not
are
gonna
losing.
eat
Yep,
that
they did
much
lose their
bread.
mind. They did lose their mind.
That bread
And
probably
bread's
got
not gonna well,
moldy.
that's a lie. The bread will stay fresh because guess what? I have bread in my
Exactly.
fridge and the bread never turned moldy because it's not real bread. So I was like, oh, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 5 months. The bread's still not gone green. So that's
I
another
bet you a lot of
lesson
people
to
threw
learn.
away a lot of food at that time because that they don't eat that much food. They probably just that food was
No, but
wasted.
they want to have, and then you do not have. And that attitude is gonna destroy a
Yes.
lot of people.
Because my
Take what
first
you
thought
need and a
was,
little
what about the
extra.
older people? You just took everything out here. You got older people that are on fixed income that can't come and get extra food, and you just cleaned the whole shelf off because somebody
Yep.
said boo, and you just ran like a crazy person.
And then my dad, like he wasn't going to the stores. We were doing the shopping. And then you tell people I'm shopping for two households. And they think
Right.
like I'm not lying. I was buying for mine and I was buying for them because he wasn't going into those places. I would just bring the stuff over and drop it off and he would, you know, do what he's gotta do what he's gonna do. And I'm laughing too because I'm thinking about the whole cucumber thing and I'm thinking they had us washing everything for the last 4 years. And then
Mm-hmm.
you're washing everything, but we still gotta wash everything because now it's another problem.
Wasn't
Whether
you
it's E.
washing
coli,
stuff
listeria,
before then? Yeah, like all the extra
I was
cleaning. Like you
washing it
wasn't
before,
cleaning
but we were
before?
like extra. Yeah, but we were being extra with it. We were like but now it's like you still got like that hasn't changed. Just
Right.
wash your stuff. That's the point because you don't know who handled it, and it's not even just
Exactly.
the farm in the store, and they could be passing on germs because they go to the bathroom and don't wash their hands. Fast food
I'm
people,
like, I didn't
especially
understand that either. I'm
you,
like, wasn't you already cleaning? Buying all that bleach. You ain't gonna do
and then
nothing
these
but burn
these
your
companies
nose
have
up.
signs. Wash your hands before you go back on the production floor. They have signs all over the place, and they're not doing it. Good morning, everyone who came in. Dan H, so blessed Canadian. I think you were already here,
Good
but
morning,
I
Grand
didn't
Rising,
directly say hi.
everybody. Grand Rising.
We have three generations in my house. I had. Well, we don't live together. We're nearby, and then we had to pool together. Say, okay, I'm going to buy this in bulk. You
Mm-hmm.
have that in bulk, and we just swap
Right.
stuff. I
Yeah,
have
we
lots.
used to
I
do
still have
that
rice.
too.
I still
Mm-hmm.
have rice, and I said, you know what? Because I remember you shared you had rice from 2 years ago that wasn't bad at the cheaper price, and
No.
you just finished the rice
Uh-uh.
now. So I said
Yep,
I just
yep.
stocked up on the rice because even though it's expensive
Mm-hmm.
now, it's gonna keep going up.
Right.
And somebody mentioned a
Exactly.
$19 hamburger. I think Happy Mac. Look at these prices. Is it
Yeah,
costing more to
no.
produce food? No,
No, I don't
it's
think
not
so.
costing
Well,
more to
you know what? Well,
produce
I
food.
try to understand. I listen to some people with, what's going on with our economy because we need to pay attention to that too, with all of the bank
Mm-hmm.
closing and stuff like that. And they claim that the more, they keep sending all this money overseas, and what it does, the more they print, them printing the
The
money
less our
causes
dollars worth.
inflation. Right, and it
Yeah.
makes the dollar less. But I'm like you, but okay, it makes the dollar less, but you're not changing nothing with how you produce your product. So how is it making it cost more? Like I don't
I
see how
think
the two
what
go together.
I watched a video and it's like I remember that I forget. This is my problem. I get
Yeah,
the
me
the
too.
simplest of
Me too.
concepts, mind you,
You
and it's
listen to
like,
understand at that moment.
and then they have to really do it again because it's like a
Mm-hmm.
squirrel. But I think what happens is because it's happening in every country and all this fluctuation, and because
Mm-hmm.
we're in a global economy, not just like U.S. North
Right,
America,
right,
a
right,
lot of the
right,
stuff is sourced from elsewhere. And now
right,
that you're converting currencies to other currencies, now mind you, the US dollar is still technically the most
right.
powerful
Yeah.
dollar when really we know it's
Mm-hmm.
not. And they're just waiting to change that from the main global
Right.
currency. That's going to be another problem, but it hasn't happened
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
But
Ooh,
you can
that's
see
gonna be a
BRICS and
big
all
problem.
of them combining to separate from the US dollar and stuff.
Right. Yeah, the bricks.
So
Yeah.
because of that
Mm-hmm.
and the fluctuations with the currency, and because the US dollar really isn't worth anything, mind you, the Canadian dollar is so much better. You can't buy as much; it's costing more,
Right, right.
and
Yeah, it is.
but
Like now you go in the
it's all
supermarket.
but it's still manufactured, as you said, it's still
Right,
manufactured because
right.
they didn't have to send all that money to the war over in the blue and yellow, and now they're sending money
Mm-hmm.
over to the other war and all these places,
Mm-hmm.
even over here too, millions and trillions of dollars.
But that's
And
how
if
they
you
make
go
that's how
ask
they
for
make
subsidies,
money
you can't
though.
get
That's
it
how they make their money. That
with
whole
military
thing, what they call
contracts
it, the war or something, that's a big money maker for them. Because you gotta remember the
and the
people in
military
Congress,
contracts.
yeah, the people in our Congress, they have people that supply the ammunition, the
Yep.
guns. These are their
The
people
night
that they're
vision and all these
using to
yep.
supply all this stuff. So they're
Yep.
helping their business. So it's a big money. War is a big money
And
maker
the
for
money
them.
doesn't trickle down to the
No,
people. So we
no, it
now
goes to
are
their friends that own the
right.
businesses and stuff.
And
So
we
no,
now get stuck with our dollar now being worth 25 cents, and we have to still be purchasing things that are now costing
right,
companies more to get the ingredients or parts shipped in for them to make the same product as before because of the manipulation of the
right,
currency and of the interest rates. Because now I'm understanding more that
right, right, right.
it's because over here we had an announcement on the 5th of June that they're going to lower the rates. After all that waiting and waiting and
I've
waiting,
seen that over here
a
too.
quarter of a percent, a quarter of a percent. They
Mm,
know that they've stalled the markets. They stalled the real estate market. They've stalled a lot of stuff. It's stalled. Then they talk about homelessness. People can't afford to buy anything because you're not lowering the rates of interest. Because even though the
mhm.
house's price has gone down, the interest is so high it's unaffordable. Then we have a
Yeah,
homeless
I seen
problem.
somebody show 7% for the interest rate
I'm
for to
like,
get a house.
so a lot of people, like you have to it's a very dangerous world we're living in, not even with robbers and guns, with these politicians and these deals that they're
Mhm,
making and the way they
mhm.
fudge numbers, because this
Yeah,
interest rate
the Amron
hardly
banking is
moved,
real.
and people can't we're trying to sell a house right now. There's nobody the people are looking, but the interest rates are deterring them because they can't afford it,
Right,
because they're going to have to be
right.
paying thousands of dollars per month. So I'm hoping they're going to take it because there's rental income. You can rent out a unit and then live upstairs, but I'm telling you, the interest rates are keeping people broke. They're losing their houses and they are walking away from the house, and then the bank gets the house and all the money you put into it is gone because they can't keep
Mm,
up. They cannot keep up.
mhm.
They're trying to sell a house and no one's buying it. What are you going to do? And I'm like, wow, you guys are master magicians because you're doing this on purpose. They're doing this on
Yeah,
purpose. And now they're
they
giving
are,
tenants
they are.
a credit history for paying your rent on time, but they don't have the responsibility of a homeowner. So they're benefiting. Like the way I'm watching how they're manipulating, but unless you're really watching, you don't see it. But
Mhm,
it's a magic trick. It's a really a magic trick, and you're being bamboozled because once you get ahead to a certain point, and they see that a lot of people were doing raising their cash flow and becoming higher in the middle class. As soon as that
mhm.
happened in the pandemic, they're like, okay, we got to stop this. and you started
Right.
seeing them making certain moves, even in the States, inflation. Then they allow people to evict people. Where are they going? I saw one mobile home in Miami. I think it's Miami or somewhere in Florida. They're evicting people because they sold the land. They didn't sell nothing. They want to develop it for something else. But they've been
Right.
collecting rent all this time. Where are they going to go? Where are these people going to live?
I think it's I think well, they never stop, but I think there's another land grabbing going on. There's a land grab going.
And what they
Grand
want.
Rising, G Mama.
Grow your own.
Grand Rising,
Hey,
So
perfection
Blood.
baking.
Grand Rising, she said.
Um, you'll hush up for now. I'm just like, this is crazy. I drive to some places, and the places where you never saw homeless people, there's tents popping up left and right and center. And what I came hold on. Hey G Mama, and did I miss anybody? What's mind boggling is I don't know how to word this. It's you can't keep pushing out the lower class and the lower income and the homeless. You can't keep like where are they going to go? Like you either have to make a big patch of land saying you guys can live here and maintain the sewage and maintain something so it's kept clean, but you can't
Right,
keep pushing them on the outskirts. It's you're not helping society because all you're gonna do is create an uprising, and then we're gonna get beat up and robbed for no reason just because there's this disparaging difference between the lower class and the middle and upper class. And the people who
hmm,
are not touched are the wealthy and the elites watching
right,
all this happening while they're eating their
right.
popcorn and laughing because they're making such a distinct difference between, well, you have a place to live and I don't have, and then you're being, and then the mental
Yeah, well,
illness
people
on
people
top
got
of
to
it
use their common sense though when it comes to stuff like that because whatever happened to you and it didn't happen to me is not my fault. You know, just because you don't have is not my fault that you don't
is not
have.
my exactly. But
Yeah,
we need to like it needs to be a societal solution, not just
right,
push them over
right.
there. Okay, keep pushing them
Don't
over there.
don't don't
Like
um blame somebody else that had nothing to do with the circumstances you're in now because they're not in your but and then they people got to realize some people may be one paycheck away from where you at. So, you know,
pretty much.
we all are being affected by what's going on, but we may experience it in different ways. So you can't sit and say, "Oh, this is happening to me, but nothing is happening to you." No.
That makes perfect sense until you're among a mob of people who are not thinking rationally because they've
Yeah.
been
Mhm.
riled up from their circumstances and they get riled up that you're not speaking to a logical sensible person, you're speaking to
Right.
a mob mentality, and it's like eh,
And people
okay,
got to
hey
be careful
Howie,
with that too, because everything they do these things to put people under pressure because they want you to make you respond in a way where okay, everybody's like you said, okay, everybody is this is happening, everybody's running around acting a fool. We got the solution. You know what I'm saying? Um,
we have to find a
martial,
solution
we
because
could put on martial law or something like that. So you got to be careful what you do because then you just falling right into their hands of the next phase as to what they're trying to do.
to
We have to
control the
learn
masses.
somehow to stick together. Like I said, if we put our heads together, there's no need for nobody to be starving, none of that stuff.
It we have to work together. You're right. And what I learned even earlier on in life, there's more than enough to feed there's more than enough.
Yes,
I've
it
seen
is.
things that people
It is.
hoard and they hog it and then it goes bad, it goes rotten. You can't use all of it.
Exactly.
You
This
take
makes
what
no
you
sense.
need and give away the rest, and it's gonna come back in another way. I went
Right.
to my garden when I started this season, and I saw things popping up that were from last seeds from last year that must have fell into the soil. I have about 50 plants that I didn't actually plant myself. I gave some
Mm-hmm.
away. I found some more in the bed, like just cabbages everywhere. Free food. Free
Mm-hmm.
food. Once you start gardening, the multiplication is beyond what you could even conceive,
Exactly.
because you're because
Right.
it's always going to be things that blow. I found lettuce that I did not plant in random places. I don't know how the wind blew the seeds all the way over these, but I have lettuce, and I dug them up and I put them in one area. Free food. We need to stop
Hmm.
looking at the store to be our supplier and look to ourselves. That's what we need
Right.
to. And if you haven't changed your mentality from 2020 and now it's 2024, I don't know what to tell you. I
Okay.
don't look to the store for
Okay.
my to be my be all and end all. Hey, she
Well, I mean,
said.
if they could, hey, Grand Rising, if they could pull another shenanigans, I mean, you really got to watch. If they try to pull another shenanigans and the people who fall for it, you really got to make a list, because all the information that's coming out now, the lies that we already knew were a lie, and
Mm,
now they coming out because now people can say that they are a lie.
it was a lie. But do
So
you see how quiet? You see how quiet
the
that is,
next
though?
thing they pull, nobody shouldn't be fooled by it.
I received a letter today. A company out of Texas made me an offer on part of my property for a reduced rate. I really don't want anyone living that close to me. I'd rather sell than have stolen. I hear you. At a reduced rate, though?
Why would you do that? Oh, at a reduced rate, offer my
Yeah, you read it
property
right.
for a reduced rate.
A company wants to buy a property. Good morning, Black Guns. And sometimes these properties, if you don't play nice the first time, they make your life a living hell. So
Mm.
I know what she's saying, because that there's that
But
lady they
that's
wanted
the,
to
I'm
do
talking about
something
that
and she
land
couldn't sell,
grab. Yeah,
and they were
didn't
gonna
I just
steal.
say got a land grab going on?
Yeah. So I know what she's saying, because she had to be careful because they might just take it if you don't play, negotiate with them
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah,
This is
they're
the life.
doing.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy what's going on. And Canadian mentioned that he worked hard. Exactly. We have to live without owing people nothing, and we've all in some form or fashion, whether intentionally or not, have lived in the system, and we kind of got it all wrong.
Well,
We should have
this is
been
a
living
debt
on one
system. This
land
system
and all
that
pulling
we
together.
work in. Yeah, this system that we work in is a debt system. It runs
Exactly.
off of debt. So they teach you to be in debt because that's what it runs off of. It runs off of debt.
And they teach you to be isolated, because we all, as soon as you get to a certain age, you go off and get your own and start your own pile of debt. And then everyone has their own individual piles of debt. We should have all worked together and said, okay, let's sell, and buy one big piece of land, and everyone has their place on that one family land, and we all work together. It's just, and people are waking up
That's
now like,
what
no, we
some
got it
people
wrong.
are doing. A YouTuber I know, she moved from New York to do that with some people on a piece of land and then work together. And that person already had their what's her name, homestead in the hood.
Okay, I don't know what she's doing. I still follow her, but I don't know what she's doing. I know
Yeah,
she
she
moved from the
moved.
apartment to start setting up something, like to start,
Yeah,
because she
she
wants her
moved.
own
She
land.
moved. She stopped by me. She stopped by me on her way up there. And she
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
surprised.
I follow her
Yeah,
on Instagram, and I was
yeah.
like,
She
"Where are
got
you, man? You're not posting."
yeah. She gave me a poetry. Stopped by on her way to where she's
Oh,
going. But
that's
that's
nice.
what she's
Yeah.
doing. She moved up there with some people on the land to share the land, and
Mhm.
now they already had like their garden. She did videos or showed the garden and how she went right up there and jumped right in there with the garden, and she laid down some fabric and was cutting holes
And
to
getting right
plant
in there.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, she had a plan. She had a game plan from when I started following her in that small apartment. She's like, she has a plan, and she gonna just work back up towards getting that plan. And she was in that tiny apartment with her turtle
Hmm.
and now the worm bin, and just have a plan. It's all you got to
And
do. Be determined,
she
because
had her chickens with her when she came. She had the chickens.
wow, she's really got her home study.
Hmm.
Yeah. I saw her
They
on
were.
at the Soil Fest, like some of the video clips of her and some of the videos, and her mom. But that's good. I'm happy for her. I haven't seen her
Mhm.
posting on YouTube. I know she's on Instagram, so I follow her there. But I'm telling you, you have to have a. We got it backwards. We had it backwards. Work together and just build as a unit. Because if each of us are paying all these bills, and we're not going to get nowhere. We're not going to get
Mhm.
nowhere. And you
'Cause
have
even
that
like,
camaraderie of,
I'm glad I know, Mr. Bammett. They
oh
right
yeah, yeah,
here
yeah,
with me,
yeah.
and I'm about to go, start helping them with their, that's a skill that I have to offer. You know what I'm saying? I want to go
Hmm.
when the next time y'all going in the garden to do whatever, pruning, whatever, weeding. Let
And
me
then go
know so
and
I
work
can come
together with
over
them.
there and help. You know.
That's exactly what we have to do. Like I go work at my parents' garden because they can't, my dad can't manage all that. Weeding is a
Mhm.
whole thing. Oh my God. Them weeds, you turn your head for 1 minute and the whole garden's taken over. But you gotta help and pay it forward.
Mhm.
Someone's gonna
Yep.
come and help lay down some beds. I'm gonna buy another bed
Mhm.
because I'm like, you know what? I need to get these stuff planted. I need more space. I sell eggs and I, put that to buy the food. Like we're all working together and adding to our community network. I just wish that more
Right.
people would tap in. Like everyone's not tapping in. They're like, what are you adding to the
Mm.
community? I had to tell people on a seminar on last Saturday, like, what are you doing? Because I'm gonna get to a
Right.
point where I'm gonna like, you're not adding value, like you're out. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You have to
It
do
hasn't
that.
come to
You
that.
have to. You have to do that. That's why I'm so at peace now. Cause if you're not adding no value, there's no need for me to even give you no kind of space in my
You got
head.
to go. You
Yeah,
got to go
yeah.
because
It's a waste of
you're
time.
not doing nothing.
You
When
got
I see
this
people, oh, I don't
attitude
have a big
of
enough yard, I can't garden. I watch Homestead in the Hood garden in a tiny apartment. It's your mentality, it's
right.
your mindset. It has nothing to do with the
Yeah.
space that you have. Are you using what you
No,
have
it
to its
sure
fullest
don't.
potential? G Mama's in an apartment. Um, Another lady I watch,
Um,
she doesn't
um,
even speak English.
uh,
She had a patio.
garden with
Who else?
Hudson. Hudson is in apartment. She's in the apartment.
Hudson's in an apartment and
I
she's doing bee
started in the
training.
apartment. I
Renaissance
started at about
grandma,
getting. Oh yeah, my
um,
Renaissance grandma.
Tina
Yep.
Renee is in an apartment and then she got involved with a community
Um,
garden now.
front porch gardener. Her garden is her front porch. So no.
And the amount of food that they grow. And I watch, there's
Mm-hmm.
another person that I watch. I don't know how much space they have because they don't really disclose, but they grow indoors and they have a lot of food growing. They be growing food on and one
Mm-hmm.
girl I saw her on Instagram yesterday. Found her profile. She grows on her apartment building roof hydroponics. She got permission and she
Cool.
has a big patch on the roof
Cool.
and she has hydroponic units going and solar this and that and all water, no soil. The amount of food that girls
And
growing is
then you
I'm like,
got you
what?
got the community lots. You have community lots because when I was in the Bronx, we had community gardens. They would take
Yeah,
an empty lot, and I had one right next door to where I was living, and then there was another one up the block from there. We had like a lot of community gardens in the Bronx, and then you got community lots. Gina versus Gina,
yeah.
she just went and
Got
got a
one.
community lot, a big space too. Um,
Huge.
um,
And she's
um,
sharing it with somebody.
Auntie
They got a
Ellen,
piece.
Auntie Ellen grows
Yeah,
on a community
she's in an
lot.
apartment, but she has access to land.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she has a community.
Um,
So there's really no
and
excuse
TLC was in
not
an
to.
apartment too. She was in an apartment, but now she got her mom's thing
Right, she started
property.
in a apartment. Mhm.
So
Yeah,
there's
there's
no
really
excuse.
no excuse not to grow
It's what do you
anything.
want for yourself? Good morning, unbiased. What do you
Grand
want for
Rising
yourself?
Queen.
Make up your mind and just be determined because there's always going to be
Mhm.
something that's going to say, "Oh, you can't." I'm really working on getting out of debt. Now we are back to regular work hours after not having much at all. I will use overtime to get out of debt. Will be worn out, but it will be worth it. I'm doing the same thing.
Mhm.
I'm using the overtime money to buy all these extra beds and soil so I don't have to dip into the regular living money. I don't even
Mhm.
like doing I hate overtime. I think overtime is an abomination, but
Yes,
hey,
it is.
uh,
Overtime and a
it is
second and a third job is an
an
abomination.
abomination, but I understand that it's a means to an end. But as long as you have a
Mhm.
plan, because you don't want the jobs to suck you dry and you can't even. So
Right.
I'm not
And
knocking you. I'm
and
doing the
they
same thing
will
right now.
do it.
I want more
They
beds.
will do it if
I
you
want
let
more
them.
soil. I want another hydroponic unit. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work the overtime and let's pay those things cash. Um, even hold on. I had to come out the bushes, y'all. So correct.
Mhm.
If you don't add value to my life, what are you doing here? Going back into the bushes. Yeah, I wasn't that direct, but it's gonna come to that because you're not doing anything. And I'm at a point, I got to that ripe old age where it's like you're almost at the cusp of being not quite a senior where they tell you shut the F up and don't care where they're at. They'll pass the gas in public. They just don't care. I'm almost at that age. Not quite, but I can feel it coming on. And I'm like, shut up. Everything they say is negative. I can't. I don't want to hear excuses. I want to hear how can we make
Right.
it happen? Because if we're always
Exactly.
talking about can't, ain't nothing ever gonna happen. And you're sucking the
No.
air of the room and I can't breathe. How can we find this to work? How can we make it work? Maybe my idea is not
Exactly.
quite, right, landing right, but say, no, we can do this instead. Like, come with
Mhm.
something. No, negativity, whining, complaining, blah, blah. Oh my
Because
God.
that's easy to do. That's easier to do than actually come up with an idea to solve your own
It's annoying.
problem.
I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, people would rather
I'm an earthling
complain.
organism. I wish I could live in a cave. Exactly. Hey, Regenerative Wayne. I know he's doing big things over there.
Oh,
Check
big
out
thing.
Loco Farms, a Nigerian immigrant who has the biggest urban aquaponics farm in New York on roofs. Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Let me let me
Yeah.
punch it in
Regenerative Wayne
now
is
before I
doing
forget.
big things over there.
All we have to do is change our mentality, and the mentality, unfortunately, the negativity is from the older folks more than the younger folks, and
Really?
it's
You think so?
very. Oh, hold on, I found him on Instagram. Whoops. Okay, hold on. Let me follow him. Um. Okay, I this is the right one, and I'm gonna. I think I saw a video on them before, but I didn't know they had a channel with this lady. Yeah. Okay. And the older folks, not all older folks. It's not. I'm not saying a blanket, but they have a mindset, and they don't want to change and look at things differently. And a lot of it is because of
Mhm.
negative things that has happened to them. And I understand they tried to launch out, and whether the plan wasn't right or people were vindictive or jealous
Yeah.
or whatever you want to call it, and now they've come very jaded. But it doesn't mean that you can't try again. Like,
Right.
I don't believe in
You
stuck
have to
for your
be in a state in order to adapt to change.
correct.
Good change, not just any old nonsense that come along. But you got to be flexible and willing to change. Things are happening so quickly, so you got to be able to adjust to change.
And then when you work with young people, they're so have so much optimism and fresh ideas, and you pair that with somebody who's more mature, who knows like the systems and the pitfalls. You can
Hmm.
work together to help them to blossom and not make the same mistakes. But don't like
Right,
negative, crush. Like, stop being a nutcracker. Like, start being a seed planter. Good morning, Rachel. Like, stop crushing people's dreams. Maybe
hmm,
just listen and hear them out. Okay, this could work if we that could work. And my dad told me, even in the garden, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, because that's how he always known it. I said, no, we
hmm,
can. I watch
hmm.
people on YouTube. Watch this. We're gonna try it. He's like,
Right,
okay.
right,
He never squashed. He's like, okay, we'll try it and we'll see. Now the man
right.
I took over the garden like a female. This thing is my idea. I said, Dad, that was my idea. Oh, no, it was. I'm not. You looking at me like I said, Dad, you actually look convincing, like you believe it was you. He's like, it was you. I go, of course it was me. And I had witnesses. It was these were all my ideas. And the man take it like it was his. I said, this man is so old people. I'm the one who put the fabric down and burned the holes so that he didn't have to do so much weeding. I'm the one who
Right,
said we're not doing any more tilling. I don't want no more tilling. We want to
right,
just leave it, weed it, and then just do the no-till method. I'm the one who
right.
added this, and he think it was him. I'm the one who got chickens and give him the chicken salad, and he's watching things grow. I'm the one who added all these new plants like kohlrabi and this, that, and the third. I'm the one who added those things into his garden and the herb. Miss said, you gave us a good foundation, don't get me wrong, but I'm the one who brought in all the hydroponic. He's like, this thing is useless. I go, it's not useless. You're not using it. That's the problem. You have to turn it
Right.
on. You have to change the water. Oh, you can't plant this early. Watch me. And I planted things when the snow's on the ground and put plastic on top. And he's like, oh
Right,
wow,
right.
this yep. We
Yeah,
can
yeah,
push the
you
envelope,
gotta be open to new ideas.
but be
I know.
open. And now
I
he's like,
pushed back. I
he's
pushed
like,
back
oh
a
my
lot
God, we
too
can
when I first
do
started. I
this,
was like,
we can do
I'm
that,
not doing that. Y'all doing too much. I'm not
we
doing
can
that
add,
either. Good Lordy. Nope, not doing that either.
and I'm making it easier. I don't want us to be working because I'm getting older. I have injuries. I don't want to be,
Yes,
smashing up
yes,
myself. And we got
yeah,
him a stool. I have a stool. I'm going to sit there and you do what you can. Put your hat on, get up early before it gets hot out, and that's what you do. And even in the fall, you know how much food we had? We were giving away so much food, and we had enough to eat. And that's
yeah.
exactly your linchpin to your comment. If everybody pulled a little bit of their own weight, not even all of it, just even a
Mhm,
little bit,
mhm. A
we would
little
all
bit.
have
Mhm.
enough, and we could be swapping and sharing, feeding the poor,
Yeah,
feeding the homeless, feeding the seniors.
yeah.
We wouldn't need any of this other
Do you
crap.
know some places are stopping people from feeding the homeless?
Because they
They
don't want
literally
because they're
like,
creating a dependency. They're dependent on you, but you're not providing a place for them to plant either. Because I'm pretty sure some of those people would feel more comfortable in a common community, a tent
mhm,
community, where they would have something to kind of have their own. But you keep displacing them so they can never get comfortable. Because not everybody who's homeless is worthless. They are
right,
some of
right,
them are highly
right,
educated. They have skills, but they hit mental illness, down on their luck, leaving abuse, all kind of reasons why they're now on the street. And
right.
you certainly haven't
Exactly,
given them an option to
exactly.
be independent and self-sufficient. Because if you gave me a little patch of something to grow something, I would grow and start them off. Then they wouldn't need you. They could make their own salads and their own lettuce and
Is right,
have their own
right.
chicken. They're not
Yeah,
doing that.
there was a guy, I think he was in California, and he built mini homes for homeless people, and I think they were trying to stop him from doing that. Like he was, taking he would do one at a time and build a mini home for the homeless people. I'm not
They the
understanding
help
that. If somebody is
that they've been
deciding
giving us,
to help, why are you stopping them from helping?
and then they want us stuck in the system, the matrix of social assistance. And social assistance does not make you self-sufficient. They want you
Mm-mm.
standing in lines at the food bank or whatever they have, the whatever the what do you call it when you feed people?
Yeah, I know what you're
The
talking about.
the hot food, the
Yeah,
whatever you
the
call that
food
place where you
lines.
line up and you feed
Uh-huh.
the people. Yeah, like
Yeah, try to
I
get you
can't
to
find the
eat
word. It's
the
right
bugs. I'm
the
not
tip of
eating
my tongue.
nobody
Like
bugs. I'm sorry. Not eating
yeah,
nobody
you
bugs.
feed
Not
them like hot
necessary.
food, and then they go back out during the day. Um, you know, you're not giving them anything to do to be productive in society. Like, come on, like what do you? That's it, soup kitchen. Thank you. I'm like, what are they called? Soup kitchens, and you're feeding them, but you're not making them self sufficient. Some people don't want to be in a home. They want to stay on the street because for whatever reason, but if you give them something to do to be productive, they will be productive. Just leave them the hell alone and let them do their thing. Provide places for them
Hmm.
to toilet and for them to, clean up and wash off, and they'll be fine. And places to even, wash clothes and hang it. Just, whatever. Provide them some basic things and they'll be fine. But you want them to be in lines, you want them to be in shelters where they're attacked by other people around diseases and sicknesses and in the system where you control them. And that's
Right.
the problem I think we're having. You're trying to control people who don't want to be controlled.
'Cause who wants that? Like, who wants that? I mean,
None of us want
and
it, but we're
especially,
some of us. I'm
I'm
playing
gonna
in the
go
system.
there,
I'm in the
especially Black people. When you think about that, like, are you serious? Like, y'all really think we're gonna sit here and and really dance with the idea of being slaves again? Like, y'all could not be serious or anything that even
I'm just
resembles it. You can't be serious.
People are clinically insane. This is my determination. You're clinically insane because
Yeah, I
this
call
don't make no
them,
sense.
especially the people that's in charge. I call them psychopaths. We need to start calling stuff what it is. These people are psychopaths,
They are. Let me just catch
narcissistic
up with the chat.
psychopaths.
She said, saying she offered her neighbors free buckets to grow food. They refuse it while asking her what she's growing. She don't understand it. They have kids to help, and she don't have no one to help. That's why I got so mean. I'm mean now. I'm mean because the people that have help, and I'm doing it by myself. This year, both of my elbows have been acting up, and I still got to get stuff done. So I'm not
Mhm.
very nice. I'll give to those who cannot do it for themselves. But if you can do it for yourselves, don't look
Right.
over here for no food. Honest to God.
They'll help her eat it though, but they ain't gonna help her grow
No.
it. That's
So
what that
people
is.
like that, it's a hard no for me because I have to work through pain just to get stuff done. No need for banksters. Just plant
Gardening
seeds.
is a lot. Gardening ain't no just set it and forget it. That's it's a lot of
I see a
work
couple
with
of people put
gardening.
in jail for feeding the homeless. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah.
Going to jail for
Mhm.
feeding the homeless.
Mhm.
Like everyone deserves to eat. And people actually that comment it just is also triggering because people are allowed over here. I went for my walks in the morning. The amount of bread I see on the floor to feed the damn tree rats and the birds. They get food, but we can't feed another human being.
Hmm.
People out at the lakes feeding the fish and throwing things to feed the fish,
Mhm.
that's okay.
Mhm.
You can feed probably
Mhm.
cockroaches and ants too while you're at it, but you can't
Right.
feed another human being because they can go feed themselves. What have you done to help them feed themselves? If they don't have a place to plant, what are they going to do? I don't understand what you're trying to um think outside the box when growing food, be more creative. The homeless are making money for these nonprofit organizations, huge vet homeless population. Soup. Oh, thanks. You're in the bushes, Psalms. Social assistance is not necessary if homestead is a human right. I think that the social system is not made. There's some flaws in it, and the glaring flaws are becoming more apparent because if people are homeless, fine, but you have not helped them because there's so many parking lots, parkettes, and places where people can say, okay, we'll allow you to live here if you clean up the
Mhm.
garbage and make some criteria. You have to clean up the
Mhm.
garbage. There can't be no violence, no drinking, no bottles, nothing around here. You have to plant foods and you have to give them something to do to take pride. I don't know. Maybe my idea is way off the wall, but it can't be what it is now. It's not working. It's not working. We'll catch you, but can't fix it.
She
Oh,
um
buffering?
she
Am I
buffering.
buffering?
Yeah. No, I think she is buffering on her side.
Okay, because I don't see a bad internet on my part, but who knows? Um, let me see here. We are all slaves to money in a well-controlled society. I wish we to have my. I'm telling you, I know what you're talking about with your cave. I just want a small piece of land. I don't need no. Well, maybe 5 acres would be good, but even five, I could probably do with two. A garden. I do want to get a beehive, so start having my own, honey. And maybe, I'm gonna have my chickens for sure, but more chickens. I do want to have some quail and maybe a couple of small goats, pig or whatever, not pygmy, those Nubian goats for some goat cheese and goat milk. And I'm good. And some internet. And I'm good. I don't need nothing else. I don't need to be shopping at these stores. I don't need MAC makeup. I don't need handbag and all them something. I don't need it. Like I used to have, and all the stuff is in the closet gathering dust. And we had a
Mhm.
shop thing at church where people brought stuff to give away. They had like office clothes, handbags, and stuff that they're no longer using. And some of the younger people and other people who are maybe into the workforce, you want a blazer, you wanted this, you wanted that. Wash the stuff. Everyone brought the stuff, hung it up, and displayed it, and you take whatever you want. It's not, and whatever's not taken will be donated to the thrift shop. And a lot of the girls came to get office clothes because they didn't have any work clothes, and they just
Mhm.
finished school, and they're now going to be in the workforce and need
Right.
office clothes to wear. Half of us are working from home now. I ain't going to the office no more. I
Yeah,
don't need
and you
50
know
zillion
that
blazers.
that has backfired on them and is causing a problem now with the commercial real estate with the empty buildings because everybody done went home and now nobody wants to come back to the office.
Hell
So
no.
now
What are we going back
that's
there for?
causing a
To go through
problem.
traffic and hit the bus and have all that
Exactly.
stress of getting to the office and have to go buy
Exactly.
food every day because you don't have time. Rush, 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 rush. Everyone's
Hmm.
happier now. You can eat breakfast with your family, not rush and chew down the food and rushing out the door. You can
Right.
walk your kids to school. You can have
Hmm.
lunch and sit outside in your backyard and look at the garden that you work so hard to plant, and now you can enjoy the view. Like there's so much. Like
Hmm.
who wants to go back to that nasty office?
You're
We're not going
actually
back.
living. You're actually living now.
We're not going there. And then all those offices could be used for places for people to live. Homeless
Hmm.
people. I remember
Hmm.
I read in this book the book that the movie was done with Will Smith and his son, Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh,
I
so,
read the
yeah,
actual
pursuit of
book.
happiness.
So I read the actual book. I never watched the movie. I saw the book, but I never watched it. I like to read the books versus
Hmm.
watching the
The
movie.
movie.
And
Hmm.
he at one point was living at the office. And then also when he had his son, because the woman couldn't take care, I don't know what happened, he ended up with his son. He was living in this shelter place where you had to be in by a certain time and the doors were locked. And you would sleep there, but you couldn't live there. So every morning you had to get up and go back out about your business. But at least you had a safe place to sleep and it was a first come, first serve. And if you weren't there by a certain time, you couldn't get in. Because there was no hallway walking up and down. All the doors must be locked and you're in your room because they don't want no violence or no foolishness going on in the hallways and the stairwells, none of that. And that's what he had to do many times. And he lived in the bathroom at a bus terminal at one point, I don't know if it was an airport or a bus terminal, and he locked the bathroom. People were like, "You need to use the bathroom." He was living in the bathroom and sleeping there with his son.
Mm.
And it's like people just sometimes need a place to sleep. They'll go wandering around all day, but they need somewhere where they can sleep and not feel that unsafe feeling of is
Right.
someone
I was
going to
going to
rob
say
me? Is
and
someone
be
gonna...
to somewhere safe. Hmm.
Yeah, and they don't. So you don't need to do all just. You come in at 8 p.m. and you have to be out by 6:37 o'clock. You got to get out, and then you lock the building up, and they have to get out. Even something to that effect, but they ain't provided nothing. Nothing. I said I wanted goats too. Yeah, I want some goats. I think cows are too big. I
Yeah,
don't know if I could.
you have to have land for them to walk around and eat.
Yeah, we're codependent, but the homeless population just even over here is in my city is ridiculous. And I'm seeing a lot of comments online and videos like people who came here are like, "Oh, it's Toronto's disgusting now. It's so dirty. It's so this, and they're but I'm like, where do you expect people to go? I don't know. Like it's getting hard to live for the regular people. The rates are so high even to feed ourselves. If I wasn't growing my own food, could I afford to go buy produce at the rate that I need it? I'm not sure because the things that I would like to eat, like bok choy and the nice stuff, are not the
Hmm.
most. They're not the cheapest, and they're sold by the pound. They're not sold by each item, and
Hmm.
that's how they're getting us too. Everything's by the damn pound. I went to go buy some grapes. Oh, $1.99. I missed the /LB part. So when I get to
Mm.
the counter, about $7 for the damn bag of grapes. I bought the grapes,
Mm.
but it's $7 for a bag of grapes.
Mhm.
So who's gonna eat these things? It's unattainable. So you're lucky if you get some lettuce and some unripe tomatoes, and you maybe get some cabbage, and that's it.
Right,
You can't
yeah.
eat
A
all this
hundred
stuff.
a $100 is nothing. That's like the minimum when you're going in the store now. You're gonna spend $100, and you're
Yeah,
gonna come out with like probably like 2 bags of stuff.
that's it.
That's it.
And then
And
you
then
better
that's
be
not even
mercantile.
a week's worth of food. That's just for probably right then and there for that for a couple of days.
That's it. And I have not been buying so much snack stuff. And I'm trust me, I like my snacks. Because by the time you go buy a bag of chips for maybe $3, you could have put that somewhere else and bought something more productive because
Um,
they ain't gonna last.
right. Yeah, they're gonna make you choose. They make well for some of us, they're going to get us really to eat better, because once they started, which I think they already was putting it in the food, but something happened
Mhm.
where they had to tell us. Me and my daughter call it the bionics, but the what's the real word for it? This the stuff now that the GMO stuff that they're putting
Oh,
making the
the
food with,
bioengineered,
they
yeah.
have to put that on the product now, which I think they were already doing it, but now they're forced to show it.
Yeah.
So now we check everything, and a lot of stuff that we were snacking on, we just stopped. We
Yeah,
just cut all of those things out.
and then you realize how much ingredients are added to things that don't need to be added. So I went to buy
Yes.
French fries, just plain French fries. I expecting maybe salt, potatoes, and maybe something. When I
Mm-hmm.
read the bag, it was too many ingredients and things that didn't need to be. I'm like, if you're cutting up potatoes, blanching them in salt water, and freezing them, why are there so many other ingredients? So I couldn't even buy the French fries. Like nothing that you buy is just that. And that's what they
Right. No,
disclose.
it's not that no more. It's
So I have
yeah.
to just go buy some potatoes and just cut them up myself and
Yeah.
make my own fries because
Mm-hmm.
it's gotten that bad
You're
because I
gonna have
can't
to go
afford to
back to cooking and like fresh cooking in the
that's
house. You're gonna have to
and
go
who has
back to
time to
that.
cook? Who has time to cook? Honestly, I don't know how many people have
Yeah.
time like they used to cook enough food to feed themselves and their family
But
daily.
that's part of the thing too, is to keep you busy. Working overtime, working
Work,
two
work, work,
jobs.
sleep,
So
work.
now you don't have time to cook. So you're gonna go and buy the processed food to eat
Correct.
that, which
And then your
they're
kid, mommy, I
mixing
want
and
McDonald's, I want
got
chips,
crap in
I
it.
want that. Why can't I have that? So and so has that. Their mommy make. Listen here, child. And then you're just competing with
Who even letting
societal
their kids
standards.
talk like that? We couldn't even talk like that. You would get slapped so hard.
I got the look.
We couldn't even
I
go
didn't even
in the
get
store
slapped.
and act
I
out
got the
like that.
side eye and I started crying immediately because I
Oh,
knew what
that
was
part.
coming. And I would cry to maybe soften and cry and sniffle and then eat because my parents, even in church, they would go like this. That means they're gonna pinch me so hard and tear off my skin that I'm gonna lose my arm. And then when I got older, it was they'll be praising God, like clapping, and then you see them go. That wasn't praising God. That was a punch in the air. That you know, stop it. I'm gonna punch you so hard. In church, but dad didn't care. He would just do that. That was a signal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get you behind in the parking lot, in the car, in the back, with the gospel music playing
Everybody, you
loud.
talk to your kids. I know I talk to my kids. We going in this store. I'm not going to get nothing for you, and don't ask for nothing. Period.
And if you touch anything, keep
That part.
your hands on the cart, on the trolley. Do not touch nothing. If any teeth been going on in here, I'm gonna.
I had my grandson for the summer last
Yeah.
summer, and we went into one of the big box stores. And he looked at me. He was like, "I want to run around in the store." I said, "You run around in this store, and you will find out. Run around in the store goes crazy. You run around in this store."
No problem. I had to when I had to watch my nieces and nephews at babysitting back in the day. Um, I was like, okay, pack it all up. I would leave the trolley. Sorry, can you just put this all back? I gotta go and back. But we didn't fit. Get in the car. Blah, 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 blah,
Right.
blah, and I'll drive home fast, fast, fast. Get in the door, close the door, lock the door, and then drop them with some foot and shoe and whatever I had to drop them
Okay.
with. Allegedly. Because I ain't your mama. I don't love you
That
like she
part.
loves you. I
That
don't
part
even
right
like you
there.
sometimes. I just tolerate you. So don't come with that foolishness because I will. I will. I will.
Okay. I couldn't babysit the kids today. Mm-mm.
You're not
Nope.
gonna catch me
I couldn't.
in the store, give them a little slap, then they call CAS, and my
Mm.
behind's being drug off. Oh no, I'll wait. I'll hold it. I'll hold it.
Well,
Close the
I
blinds and the
came from
drape.
that thing. I didn't, because I homeschooled and stuff, so that didn't. they didn't scare me with that because I told my kids what to do if anything ever happened. So, but and I got a special needs daughter, and she has epilepsy, and a lady called, so she might be out a lot,
Mhm.
well, she was out a lot because of the epilepsy. So, and she went, how they have the schools for all special needs people. So you would think the attendance office would have some common sense to say some of these kids are sickly kids. You would
Yep.
call, and instead of threatening people, you would say, well, is so and so, is she okay, is everything okay, we're just
Mhm.
checking in because we noticed she decided, but she called my mother, she decided to threaten us. At the time, I still call them BCW, but that was the name they used
Yeah.
back then. She threatened to call BCW, so I called her up, and when I tell you I gave her the business,
Mhm.
I'm like, don't you ever call my mother
Threaten me
ever
with that.
again and threaten her with nobody BCW. You think I care about somebody BCW? Don't ever call here and threaten nobody with that ever again. You don't know what's going on with people live. You didn't even call for to check to say
A wellness
is
to check
everything
up.
good. But
Yeah.
that's your first thing, is to threaten somebody with BCW.
And this is the problem. Mind your business and find out before you start. Cause I know one
Exactly.
girl, she was absent a lot, and then we sent I filled out a form when I was working with this school. Filled out a form for the counselor to follow up, and then her mother was going through cancer treatment, and most mornings that's when her mother was feeling most sickly. So she's not
Mm,
going to leave her
mm-hmm.
mother, so they had
Right,
to
right,
accommodate
right.
her and get her homework packages and other things that she could do at home. Very smart kid. Didn't need to even be in school. She could just work independently. But she had to respond adult responsibilities. And she had to make sure her mom was okay. And that was just a fact of life. And unfortunately, she couldn't be
Mm-hmm.
sitting in your damn classroom from 8 to
Right,
4:30 because she had other things that were more important to take care of.
right.
So find out what's going on with people before you assume,
Exactly.
oh, you're picking them from
Exactly.
school or
Like don't make that
no.
the first thing you want to do, is to threaten somebody when you don't even know what's going on in the household.
I I just thought that, people need to use their power to help, but not just to bombard and beat down people. That's the
But
problem.
that's, unfortunately, that's what
Yeah.
a lot of people are doing. They're using their power and their positions to threaten people. And
And you know how much
okay,
damage they do to families by taking out children, putting them in the most these great homes where or assaulting them and
yeah,
molesting them. Well, that was a
yeah,
good decision because because you don't agree with whatever corporal punishment. You don't agree with that?
right,
The child be spitting in the parent's face and being disrespectful, and the parent give them two tongue to
right,
make them know that who's in charge in this house. And
right,
that's yeah. But then look at all the kids carrying on down the street. We would never be doing that. So
right.
I thank God for my parents' two little thumps here and there to keep my
Okay.
behind in check, because I would have been outrageous talking back and doing no. Thank God for the few little thumps. I wasn't
Okay.
abused, but listen, child, you're getting out of hand. Like you just disrespectful. And I
Yeah,
had to
that
be
part.
put. I called my mom by her first name one time. That we're both women.
Oh, no, you didn't.
And
Oh.
she said,
Wait, what happened? I felt that when you even said it.
well, so calls her mother. Listen here, don't bring so and so's lifestyle in this house. But been calling by her first name.
Mm,
The only time you call me by my first name is if you're filling out a form or some when you're
okay.
out and you have to identify me as my legal name, not mom, because mom could be
Exactly.
anybody. But no, she's like, who you call who you who? And she would literally stop mid sentence, and
I
the
know
world would
she
just
did.
freeze frame, and I'm like, say that
And
again.
that's not taught now. We was taught to put a handle on older people's name. I really like that to keep continue, because I think we lose the respect for the
Yeah,
older people when I don't even like when I call customer service now. I be telling them, don't call me by my first name. Me and you ain't buddies. I'm not your friend. What are y'all
yeah.
doing? They be
Yeah,
like,
they usually
okay, you
ask.
call me by my first name. I'm like, no, that's not what we not gonna do. You gonna call me by my last name. I'm a
Miss
customer,
so
and
yeah,
you're gonna
Miss so and
respect me
so.
for that.
Yeah,
Me and you ain't buddies calling me by my first name.
yeah. They
It's like
ask for to call you by your first
we're
name.
getting into this lax thing where nothing is being respected. Everything is like
No, it's not
putting
being
everything on
respected.
this same level or something. I'm like, no, that's not what we're gonna do. We're not gonna be calling me by my first name. No.
I think they act like decorum and those kind of, I guess, etiquette is like bondage. No, it's not bondage. It's
No.
a code of
No.
conduct and the way that you deal with people. Even if you don't
Exactly.
like somebody, there's a way. I was watching the movie again, Hidden Figures, and I was watching it again on either Netflix or one of them Apple, whatever, one of them streaming services. And when they were allowed to use the washrooms and commingle in the
Mhm.
washroom, Octavia Spencer's character always referred to the other lady as Mrs. So and so, Mrs. So and so. Like there was just a way that they conducted themselves. You know, it's a movie, but they're doing it how it was in those days. You were
Right,
not like,
right.
oh, I'm Bougie. Yeah, no, it wasn't Bougie. It was, Miss so and so or
Right,
Mrs. or Miss
right.
so and so.
Right.
It was a title. It was a
Right.
respect. They didn't just
Right.
address you as any kind of thing, and they didn't like each
Right.
other, and there was like racial tension, but there was the way you greet people and you address
Mhm.
people, and you don't
Mhm.
just walk off and ignore them if they're calling you. You have to like address them and and still.
Right,
And I'm
right.
like, we don't have none of that. Some of these kids, hey Nikki, don't even look in your eye, don't even look you in your eye. So where you looking? I'm over here. Why you in the floor? And
Right.
then so I say look me in the eye when you lie to me. And then you too damn
Yeah.
look me in my
I
eye.
have to keep reminding my grandson, like when he talking to his aunt and nephews, he try, call them by their first name, and I be like, that's Auntie Deja, Auntie Cookie. No, we not gonna be doing that. No, you gonna put a handle on
No.
their name.
Yeah. And I like that. Like you call them Miss So and so or Miss,
Yeah.
something. Don't just be the only person I call by their name was our former neighbor. He didn't like that. He didn't like, his
Right.
different culture. He wanted to call you by his first name. Don't call
Right.
him. I guess he felt old or something. And then some people don't like to be called ma'am at all. They're like, don't call me that. Like, call me by whatever. And they give you what they want you to be called. But it's like old people name. They don't want to hear that. They want to. But I'm
And
like,
then I know some people may it seem like it make them seem like they're old, but we have to. It's sad that getting old is a bad. Like some people see it as a bad thing. Like some people didn't even make it to your age.
no. It's
They
not
didn't
even the
even make
age thing.
it to be
It's
your
not even like,
age, and you're here at this
yeah.
age. I think it should be celebrated.
I think
As
it's
you
just
get
I think it's
older.
respect because some people are not particularly old, but they get that name because people see them in a respectable light.
Right,
You're not
exactly.
you're
That's
not a
all that
fly
is.
by night street what like they have so you're not old, you don't look old, you don't, dress old, but people
Right,
like they respect you so they're calling you, miss or whatever so and so because
right, right,
you're not just somebody off the street. So
right.
you should be complimented, but we take it as an offense like, oh, you think I'm old? You think I'm decrepit? You think I'm that?
No, no,
No, it's
it's
a
out of
compliment
respect.
that you have a
Right,
status and they're not gonna just talk to you
exactly,
any kind of way. And you need
exactly.
to, you know, not be so offended. And other cultures, because especially like Caribbean people who come straight from the island recently, everything is miss or ma'am, or they call you mum. They don't call you by your first like
Right,
you're of a motherly figure or
right,
whatever,
right,
or call you
right,
ma'am
right, right,
because and they don't call you by your first name unless you're a coworker where they have to call you. They don't
right,
like
right,
calling you,
right.
but oh, don't
But
call me
even the older co-workers, you still would put the Miss or Mister
Miss.
on
Yeah,
it.
Miss so and so on
Yeah,
it. Hey, Yankee sister.
just like I call the elders in the community elders. I'm out of respect, I'm calling you the elder. You are our elders.
I think
Not
I
I'm
think
not
it's good.
calling you old when I say that. I'm saying
No,
that out of
take
respect
your house.
and appreciate the fact that we are among elders.
Yeah, I think there's a lost respect, and a decorum of how you address people. I told you guys many times you go into the mall and
Mhm.
people at the door slamming your face. You dirty, stinking out of our younger people at the door slam in your face. And I just say rude. I don't even hold it. Come in the here. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And if it goes
Mm.
left over that, then it was supposed to go left because I said you're too rude. Because
Mhm.
how can you not hold the door for somebody coming behind you? Like it takes 2 seconds. Um, it's just disgusting.
Hola, ¿cómo
Rude.
estás, Titi?
You didn't cuss adults and older people, even if they made been moving wrong. Yep. It was about respect. Nowadays, these young folks will rip. Oh yeah, they don't care. You would tell your parents back in the day, and your parent, my mom, would go address the adult if there was a
Mhm.
problem. She
Mhm.
would go address the adult, and you let her go do that, and they'll do
Right,
that
right,
privately because she's gonna rip. She's gonna rip
right,
into them, but she wouldn't do that in front of us. Um, and a lot of people, think that they're gonna raise your kids for you. No, let me address my child if they did something wrong, and tell
right,
me. Don't go and think you're gonna discipline my child because those days are over. Unless you're a family friend or somebody close, people don't want other people coming and disciplining their children. You just let them know what went down and let them go deal with it if they even
right,
want to deal
right.
with it because
Well, I
some of
mean,
these
back in the days, we were disciplined by everybody, not physically, but if you were seen doing something
yeah,
wrong,
they would say, "Oh,
they were
I'm
able.
gonna
They
tell your
back
mama."
then they were able to say something to you, and
Yeah,
they wasn't disrespectful with it. But
no, it
on
was
our
like
block,
you're
we
supposed to be
respected
home
all
now.
of the adults because we knew
Yeah,
we could get in trouble with any of them.
exactly. That and it's like it's school's finished. You're not home yet. You're supposed to be home now.
Right,
Keep
right,
going,
right.
and they'll tell you so you know. Oh, oh, oh! I've been seen. Get home.
Right,
You be
right. Or
wandering
like
around.
somebody walk up like, "What you doing here? Where you supposed to be?" Something
Yeah,
simple like that.
they would do that, and I would still do that. And I see people. I remember one time we had the day off, and we were at this mall, and we saw this older church sister way up in the distance. I was like, "Oh Lord, Sister Merkel is here, Lord!" And we hide in that one store. We weren't doing anything wrong, but I just didn't want to deal with Sister Merkel that day because I'm like, "Cha!" I'm running in the store, and her eyes were 2020 because she saw us dodge into the store and came into the store and said, "What are you guys doing here?" Listen, Sister Merkel, and I said, "No, we had the day off." And she called our parents to make sure that we did have the day off and we're supposed to be
Hmm.
in the mall and that
Right,
we were
right,
in the mall, up
right,
and down, gallivanting in the mall like we grown people. I'm like,
right.
Lord of mercy, Sister Merkel dodging in the store and snuck up on us. Like,
Hmm.
Sister Merkel, and she's still alive, She is still alive and well. She's about in her 90s now, or maybe almost
Like,
100.
good for her.
She would shake your hand and crush your bones. She was one of those old time strong people.
Hmm.
But that's how it was. What are you doing here? Why are you hiding? Why are you
Right.
sneaking? I said I just didn't want to talk to you. I said I just didn't want to talk to you because it's gonna be 20 questions and 20 this and then maybe a prayer meeting in the mall and whatever. Like I said, if you like it. And she goes, all right, and left and she called. Brother so and so, me did see that at the mall. I'm like, "Peace," but that's how it was. They had their own network. They
Hmm.
had their own Facebook and their own app without having all the apps. They would keep in
Hmm.
touch and let you know what is going on with your
Right.
kids.
Yeah. And that was a safety thing too. That was a safety for the kids put in. I remember we was at the store one time and a lady son, she was panicking. She couldn't find her son. What I'm doing? I'm in the store looking for her son too, panicking. Because I know that had happened to me one time. It's not a good feeling.
No, it's not. So some people are kind of getting kind of back to that, but not really. But at least the proper names, of calling people the right names and addressing them
Mhm.
correctly and looking people like But I think people are going back to old fashioned values now because they've seen how
We need
far
to. We
removed we
need to.
are and they don't like how far removed they are, and they themselves
Mhm.
didn't want it, now realize, maybe I should have been leaning more towards that. They wanted to work out and do whatever they wanted to do, and even just we were talking on Saturday because at the family conference I was at church. One of the girls who's now married, she was dating, and her mom was like, "Where are you?" Like, it was, "How much o'clock? You have a curfew, and it's way past the curfew, and you're not home." And then, she didn't tell off the girl or nothing. The girl came home, went to sleep, and in the morning, her mom talked to her, and I said, like, that wasn't really appropriate, right? That wasn't
Mhm.
appropriate. And she had like, you had to talk to your children like they're adult, because they're now young adults, and you have to
Mhm.
transition those conversations to not like ordering them around and these are the rules and too bad. So like, talk to them and say that
Mhm.
that wasn't really appropriate. First of all, it was past your curfew. You didn't even let me know that you're running late. I have to be sitting up worrying and wondering if you're on an accident or something of that effect. Like,
Mhm.
think about
Mhm.
somebody else besides. And she realized, I have to think about my parents and not just myself, because they don't
Right.
know
Right.
something could have happened to me, and I'm here gallivanting like I'm a big woman. No, let people know that you're running late, what's happening. And if you
This.
can't have your plans in a respectable timeline, then maybe
Right.
you need to maybe it's time for you to move out if you can't respect the
You.
house rules.
I talk to my kids about that too, because this thing, they say a lot. I'm grown. Like, I never said that in my life. I'm like, what is this with y'all with the I'm grown. I'm grown. But you don't act like you're grown. I'm
You
grown.
don't
I'm
act like you're
grown. I'm
grown.
like, that's not nothing to say. And it's not all about being grown. It's all about safety. Letting
Yeah.
somebody, I'm not stopping you from going where you want to go. It's all about safety. If something was to happen and now I need to look for you, now I look like an idiot because I don't even know where to go look for you at. Because you want to be grown and just go
And that's
out
what I
and not
tell
tell
people.
me where you going. So now I have nothing to say where to even go look for you at.
We're having that
It's all
problem now
about
with
safety.
somebody
That's
that
about safety.
we're not. These girls don't have. I can only speak on girls because I'm a girl. Don't have good common sense, because there's somebody we're seeing that with. It's not somebody who's my family or friend that I can even say, like, you're not moving too right, and they think that they know everything. And the guy that they're talking to, or I don't know what to call it, they're not really dating. And several red flags have popped up. Even she's pointed out the red flags. So why are you still talking to the guy?
Right.
And she said some stuff. I didn't say nothing because I'm hearing through a third party, because I'm not always there. But the point is that now that she's thinking about it, the guy knows where you live, because you pick up the guy at these hangout sessions near your house. So you know where you live. There's nothing
Mm.
worse than getting to know a guy and then you kind of don't really like him. You're not really
Hmm.
wanting to move forward, but now he
Right.
knows where you live.
Right.
And then she's ignoring the phone calls and texting. And I guess he knocked on the door, and the other person who's there didn't know that this is what is going on, and
Hmm.
answered the door. And it's like, oh, someone's at the door for you, and she don't want to go to the door.
Wow.
But
Hmm.
but you play these games. This life is not a game. You
Exactly.
Why did the guy have your phone? Like, all these red flags, and it's like people wonder why I move the way that I move. I said, you don't mingle certain things near your house. I've
Yep.
always been that way. When you
Hmm.
get to a certain borderline, these are my family and friends. Anybody else doesn't need to know where I live, because I don't need them
Right.
coming unannounced to my door because I'm not answering their
Right.
phone calls.
Right. Right.
Stop her, the man mad. Then the girl's out there, and I'm looking at her. Where are the rest of your clothes?
Mm.
Where are your shorts? Where is the fabric, please? I don't see much fabric on your shorts. Now, I
Mm.
ain't telling anybody what to do. If you're going to a party or a dance, whatever. But a regular on the street,
Right.
what
Yeah.
what are you asking for? And I'm not
Mm.
blaming anybody for being attacked by what they're wearing, but at the
Hmm.
same time, you can't be wearing stuff and then be wondering why you're being treated a particular way. You can't
Hmm.
have it both ways.
Right.
And the
Right.
girl was wearing some frock. So it made sense, because we had a conversation, me and my friend, prior to this, and she was hearing the conversation. And she was kind of like, because we're talking about some girl in some short body riders. I'm like, shall we wear a body rider and she have family and pick me, and I walk up and down with this body rider. What's wrong with wearing short shorts? I said, If you're a mother and have young children and you're, newly married, you're presenting a certain image on the street. And
Right.
the first image that a stranger sees you is wearing bati riders, is not the
Right.
image of a Mrs. So and so with two
Right.
young
Right.
children.
Right.
And
Right.
people don't understand that you got to change your role once you become a
Mhm.
certain. If you're single, do whatever you want as a single woman. When you become, married, certain things change whether you want to admit it or not. Things should change. Well,
Right.
what's the problem?
Right.
And I was like, what's with all this pushback? Then when we go there the next time to see her in her little body, right? I said, oh, okay, it makes sense because she was
Mhm.
offended. It shouldn't matter. It does matter what you're wearing. It does.
Mhm. Yeah, it
You get
does.
treated
It
differently.
does.
Don't tell me I'm lying. You
You,
get
yeah,
treated
we
differently.
understand you want to be free to wear whatever you want to wear, but unfortunately, some people don't see it that way, and just see it and wish it well. They have to respond to it.
And then they expect other people to protect them when things go left. So this individual, the guy, is getting, to me, I'm seeing a very possessive tendencies. I ain't getting involved because, as I learned, stay at a grown folk business
Mind your
because
business.
you
Whoa,
tell
that is
people
one of
how to
my
move,
number
and
one
you warn them.
learning that I learned getting older. Mind
You
your business.
warn them subtly by giving them, tips. You don't play with men. You can't play with men.
Mhm.
I don't know. We're
Mhm.
sidebarring, but you can't play with men. If you don't like
Mhm.
a guy, you're not really interested. Don't
Right.
play with a
Let it
man
be known. Yeah, let it be known.
because if he's not mentally stable, it's gonna go left. And already you see grabbing of wrists and grabbing and little comments here and there. I said, we're not getting involved. All even though I see it, Urban is staying in her lane, drinking water and minding her business. Because if me get involved in that, she's gonna go and latch onto him more. She's gonna latch onto him more because
Oh
you're
yeah,
telling me
yeah,
what to
yeah,
do. But these
yeah.
girls are crazy. Girls are crazy. These girls are. I'm like, what? Huh? Huh? Uh, You can't
There's
fight a man, so I don't know where you're going, honey. I don't know where you're
there's
going.
there's a thing with people needing attention. Um,
Yeah,
it's sad at the attention that people need and can't find these things within themselves that they're looking to get, on the outside of them from other people, which is real
exactly. And they
sad.
they look at these decorum rules as bondage. Oh, you're old fashioned. You're trying to push your values on me. Wearing clothes is not a value. Wearing clothes is just good old common sense. Like it's just put on some clothes because you're attracting attention that you cannot handle. Like I don't think,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I don't think you get it. You're attracting attention that you cannot handle and don't have the manpower to back it up.
Mhm.
So if you
Mhm.
can't back it up, I suggest you go put on some longer shorts to the knee and dress appropriately. And you're walking up and down by yourself. I would walk in a group of girls. It was different in my day. You had a pack of four
Mhm.
or five, and you're all there in your little shots. And even me, I wasn't that sure because my dad would thump me down. So I had to be careful because someone would see me and say, "Oh, Miss Karen, I'm a party rider." I had, mid thigh, just not too much.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't because the attention was out of control. It's not good. You don't want to be known
Mhm.
as a sketa. Now they call it a thought or whatever, but you don't want to be known for that.
Mhm.
You don't want to be known like people don't understand that you represent your family. Back in our day, you weren't just
Right,
you. You were
right,
so and so's
right,
daughter,
right.
so and so's granddaughter, so and so's sister, and it was a
Mhm.
whole. They saw you, but your whole family was
Right.
associated with what you doing, what you wearing, how you're speaking to people. Oh, your child so rude. She didn't say good morning, it's not just about you. And over here now in
Mhm.
this generation, we don't, it's only me. It's me. No, it's
Yeah,
not.
everything is me, me, and some more
Not.
me.
Good morning, Virginia.
Mhm.
You are
Grand
representing your
Rising,
family.
baby.
And that's why people of other groups who are extremists now, they're over extreme and they will delete women when they don't act a certain way because you're bringing shame on the family. That's the extreme version. But
Mhm.
ultimately, it's all the same. You are representing your family. And
Right.
if you ain't acting right, that name is gonna carry on beyond even you like, oh yeah, I remember her. There's one girl we talk about her 20 years later. We still talk about her. Yeah, man. Let's get the Yeah, yeah. She has probably grandkids And maybe she's in the church now, but she's always going to be that skettle because we known her as the skank, and she can't
Mm-hmm.
outlive that story. And no matter
Right.
how many years pass, oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
We go back to what we reference her as is was that.
Mm-hmm.
So don't
Right.
start off in this world with the bad. You cannot outlive your reputation. Let me tell you that the honest truth. You cannot. Hey, Blue Lotus.
Grand Rising Blue Lotus, Grand
You
Rising
cannot.
Hudson,
People in the bushes
Grand
hiding.
Rising Psalms. I don't
You
know who else
cannot
we need.
outlive your reputation. You can't. I'm telling you. You think, oh, I'm just gonna broke out. Look at the people, them people in that Freaknik videos. Or what is it, Freaknik
Oh
videos?
yeah, yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
them do all kind of freaky thing and didn't remember that the camera was rolling. And now when them big judge and lawyer and DA and all kind of something, they're afraid for the video to come out now.
Mm-hmm.
Afraid
Grand
because
Rising Nikki.
you know,
Regenerative Wayne has said, happens all the time here in Houston. Domestic homicide is the highest here. Women are unalived because they go on dates with these guys and don't tell anybody who they with, except in the bayou.
in the bayou later. Yeah. People should know where you're going. And that's why they do that. They the guys, I find some of these guys, they work their head on you, call it work their head on you, and make you think, say, oh, you're grown, you're a woman. Why do you have to answer this? And then make you think, yeah, I don't have to answer to
Mhm.
nobody. You don't ask and have you disrespecting
That
your parents. And I'm not told where I'm
that's a
going.
red flag right there, because if somebody is saying something, that's a red flag, and it sounds like that person is probably narcissistic.
No, yeah. And then they isolate you, and then you're out and about in these
Hmm.
streets, going on these dates with people, going in their vehicle, not meeting them there, and then they know, and then you don't see them for days, or then they come back, they're been deleted.
In my 40s, when after I had got divorced and I started dating, me and my girlfriend in our 40s, we would tell
Mhm.
each other where we going and who we going with. When
Right?
my girlfriend, when she first met this guy, he came to pick her up. I was like, take a picture of his license plate. We was
Yep.
doing all of that
All of that. All of that.
in our 40s.
And I still do that. I still do that. We still
Yeah.
do that.
And
It's
I'm
like,
here
and
down
I don't
south,
be obvious. I just send a click.
and she's in New York, and I still do it with her. Down here, I let her know too where I'm going, who I'm going with, where they
That's what you
live,
do.
give her the address and everything, and she's up in New York. We still do that.
It's common sense. And people act like, oh, you're holding me. No. If I'm going on a long drive, I should tell you because I've had to call you for a ride or CAA to pick up, tow the car. Who am I calling?
Or what if you don't come back? How
Hello?
how did somebody know where to even start to go looking for you at?
Somebody recently, I would say maybe 2 months ago, we had a meetup with the group, and they were like, "Oh, a prayer, we need the prayer request because nobody knows who this guy is. One of our guys in our group that we meet up with
Mm,
once or twice a year. No one knows where it is. They haven't heard from him in days. Everyone's calling him. I said to my friend, "What happened to the guy? I never heard nothing about the guy, and I had nothing on the news about no body found. Like we were concerned." She said the man was on a staycation. I want to be left alone. What? I said I want to pump the man. The man could not put on his status on his Facebook or LinkedIn. On a vacation. No, I won't be
Mhm.
contacting anyone from this. Like, just text me back, unavailable, but I'm okay. I'm good. The
Right,
man
right.
didn't reply to nobody. So now they're gonna call a search party for go look for the man.
Mm.
I said, I want to punch the man. Let people know if you're taking out like a sabbatical from social media, you just want to be
Mhm.
left alone.
Mhm.
I have no
Mhm.
problem with that. But just say
Mhm.
that you're doing that, that I'm home, I'm just staying in the house for a week. I just need to be, decompress and I'm fine.
Mhm. Mhm.
Then we wouldn't been we sent out requests looking for people if they heard from the man and it spread all over the
Right,
place.
right,
And the
right.
man never said nothing about him on a quiet time. I said, the man, I was like, these people have no consideration for my blood pressure. For my blood pressure. I'm like, really? And this is also the opposite. Let people know if you're just gonna be unavailable. Just let them know so that they could not worry about you because this world is kind of unstable.
Yeah,
Unstable.
big time. Wayne said ladies always have an Apple tag or a Samsung tag on or
Oops,
near
wrong one.
you when you
It
on these
seems
dates
like
so you can be found and tell someone.
I don't let people know where I live. If I'm going on a date, which I've been on in a long time, I'll meet you there. And I'm not parking where the place is. I'm gonna walk in from around the corner, so you don't even know where I'm, what my car look like. Cause I don't know if you're mad or not, or take a Uber. Yeah, so you can yeah, and let people know. And some people even let a friend go to the restaurant and sit at the bar and just keep an eye if you're
Mhm.
unsure
That's a good
with first
idea.
date
Yeah, that's a
person.
good idea.
And then if you do, and I told this person that we were talking about safety and people who are coming up missing. And then this girl goes and does the very or similar unsafe things to put herself in a situation. There's many times she's gone out and nobody knows where she is.
Hmm.
And we have to just leave it to Jesus. Say, God, you protect her because she don't have enough sense to know what is going on. My family knows where I'm going. If I'm going to the store at 11 o'clock at night because they're open late, say, you know, I feel like something. I text, I'm going to the store, the so and so
Mhm.
store, and
Mhm.
so that because they're thinking I'm home, but I'm not. And if I'm in an accident, they're not going to know. Oh, that
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
going to I'm going to the drive-through to get some food. I'm going to go get some gas. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
And I'll say, you want to come? Sure, come pick me up. I'll go pick them up. They'll come with me, take them back, and go home
I
because you
got
don't
this
know.
thing. My daughter, she'll tell me she going to the store. But if I be putting on my mom radar, if you're not back in a certain time, I'm calling the phone.
Yeah, that's how I am. Or
The time I think you should have been
sometimes
back
you're on the
already.
phone with me. Sometimes I say I'm getting gas, and I say stay on the phone, and we're not talking. We're not
Mm,
talking. They're washing dishes. They're doing whatever. They're just the line is open, and I
right,
leave my
right,
phone in the car, pump the gas,
right,
and then and if I come home late at night to put the chickens away, they're on the phone. The line is open. And I'm saying, okay, I'm
right.
back inside. The door's locked. Okay, cool, you're back inside. And then we and I do that all
Mm-hmm,
the time. It's an everyday
mm,
thing for me. If I'm going for a walk at 6, my friend goes for a walk at 6 in the morning, and she'll call me. I'm not up yet. I'm not awake, but I'll leave the line open. And if I
right,
hear her
right.
call my name and it's like, huh? And I wake up, what? Is it okay? She goes, okay, there's a man that was
Mm-hmm,
looking weird, but he's gone now. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And we keep the line
mm-hmm,
open. Just because of that, we don't want to be held and locked away, but we don't want to be unsafe either. And I told her, where's
right.
your bat? Oh, I can't walk with the bat. So I said, who can't walk with bat? I said, get the aluminum bat that's very light. Get that walk with your bat.
I had one of those in New York. I had an aluminum bat in New York. My son, but the
Yeah,
youngest son,
man.
he played baseball.
I said, "You have but everybody knows. Well, people, most people know." I said, "I have there's a things in my car. There's even an axe in there." No, you're lying. I said, "You see the axe right there, sir?
Wait,
I got
an
the
axe
mini
and
one.
not a machete?
No, that's too long. So I have a little axe and it has a
Oh
built-in
yeah,
knife.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got a
Hmm.
machete at my bedside and a machete at the front door.
I gotta get me
And
a machete.
my
I
sister
don't
has
have
a
a machete.
sledgehammer. We have a machete. My sister has a sledgehammer. We have all kind of something. Well, why do you have that in your car? I have to chop wood sometimes. What do you mean? Why I have it in my car, officer? I have to chop wood. I have the fireplace. I have to fill the raised bed. You just,
How you doing? Are you still working on your license? How's that coming along?
it's still in progress. I mailed
Okay,
in the forms with my references, and my
okay.
references were like kind of like shocked, like what's this a reference for? And I showed them the top of the page because I was
Mm-hmm.
in a. They're like, I said, yeah. So make sure you don't tell them I have any mental problems. Don't make sure you give me a good
Right.
reference, and move forward. But as you can see in the news, they're making everything. They're banning all kind of something. They're
Yeah.
gonna ban paper clips next if you're not careful.
Right.
They're
That's
gonna
where I
ban
went. I went and got my when they was talking about banning
the AR. Yeah,
The AR here, yeah, I ran and went and got mine. I was like, let me hurry up and go get mine. These people, they tripping.
they're they're ridiculous. And I'm going through some of the paperwork when they're talking about on the site where they're fighting it, and the arguments make no sense. Now that I'm in it, like now that I'm, I think firearm, but it makes no sense. And the amount of crime that has happened in 2024 alone has nothing
Mhm.
to do with legal firearm owners. Nothing to do with that.
It's a young guy that I watched that he talks about 2A, and he's an attorney, and he keeps bringing up that statistic that firearms is not the number one thing that's, when it comes to unaliving people.
And then some of the people, when you look at the charges, there's a couple of people who got rearrested when I was checking the stats in various provinces in Canada. So this is all Canadian. And they were on parole, and a couple of them were given like weren't allowed to have any firearms and had all these charges, and they reoffended the same crime again. And then some people are getting released from on bail, and they made this new thing where you can get on bail again in 24 hours, but you've done the same crime 5 times.
Yeah,
So they're like,
I don't
no,
even
like you should not be allowed
understand.
to get no bail. And then they reoffend, and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Hmm.
It had nothing to do with no fight. If people who were sensible and legal had firearms, and people came into our homes with their foolishness, and we blazed them up allegedly, and we
Hmm.
blazed them up, they wouldn't come with their foolishness no more. Let me tell you,
Hmm.
they wouldn't be
Hmm.
coming to my street once they hear me over here. They wouldn't even come on my street because they would know, say, okay, don't play around over there. The criminals wouldn't be coming with no foolishness, but they keep
Well,
coming because
when you make the thing level, I forgot how the guy say it. When you make it level, they say criminals go after easy target. When nobody is safe travels, GT Grand Rising.
hey GT,
When you make it level, because criminals want easy targets. They don't want somebody that they know is gonna fight back.
no, they don't want someone to fight back. They told us to leave your fob at the front door with, I guess, some milk and
I
cookies
seen
so that you
that.
don't have to
I was
let
like,
them
is
come to
that
your house.
nuts or what? Leave your fob in your house. So they're saying it's so if the criminal allow the criminal to come in and leave your fob at the front door so they
So they
could
don't
just
come
get it and
and
yeah, they
take it
could just
further.
take the fob and keep. I was like, what kind of psychopathic foolishness, imbecilic thing is that to say?
All I have to say is get good at sleepwalking. Wink, wink. Because I'm not responsible for what me doing. I'm asleep. Because if you're coming to my house, as I said to people, there's no conversation. There's no conversation. Somebody knocked on my door at 9 o'clock for some foolishness. Somebody asking for something, and I was at the door with a screw face. I don't know who the hell is knocking on my door
That
at
part.
9 p.m. And I open the blinds and I look at and as a woman, I look at her. Hard, close the blind, open the door. Didn't even say hello. Oh, I was looking at see the time.
Right.
My chicken's already gone to roost, which means it's past time to knock on my door. Unless you're a good friend and have a flat tire, someone who knows my name, my full legal name. If you don't know my name, don't knock on my door at 9 o'clock at night. I look at her and I said no. And she goes, no, but I didn't ask you nothing. Whatever you have to say, the answer is no. No, no, nada, or not no. And she's like, the
Right.
daughter's like, I told you. Must have told me not to knock on the door. And the mother said, me gonna knock on the door. Because in my generation, you don't knock on people's door past 7 o'clock unless it's somebody
Right.
that you know. There's no canvassing, no delivery, nothing unless no. Don't knock
And
on my door
nowadays, when you're not like everybody has a phone, so why are you even knocking on anybody's door?
because you.
Like
The
everybody has a
point is
phone.
you don't know me. That's the point. We and you are strangers. Let's remain as strangers. I don't know you and you don't know me. And I don't know why you knocking on my door asking for this stone that at the front. You want this stone that may have lean up at the front. They're leaning up at the front because I cannot lift them because they're too damn heavy. And the people that are supposed to come and lift them haven't come yet to the back to make a walkway for the back. I cannot lift those stones. I don't even know how I got them to the front of my house. It's the grace of God. I got them in the car and dumped them where I dumped them because to lift them any further, I cannot lift the stone. Oh, do you want the stones? Of course, I want the damn. You see them sitting at the front of the house for over 2 years? I cannot lift the stones. Why am I answering your questions? It's none of your damn business. And I was just like, I didn't even say good night, goodbye. I just click. Like, I can't take it. I'm just not very sociable. Don't bother me. Leave. I'm in my house. The blinds are closed. The TV's on. on. Everything was closed and dark, and she come knock, 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 knock.
Sit down.
So I said, maybe it's the neighbor. Maybe she's having an emergency. Maybe it's the neighbor. So I opened the blind and looked. So I said, oh, she see me now. So yeah, I should have actually looked at her and kept and closed the door and left because I can't be
Yeah,
bothered.
I shoot. I have done that. I
I've done
have
that
seen.
many a
I
time
look through my peephole and like, who is that? And go right back in my room.
because
Don't even
once
answer
you
the
open
door.
that door, that's
That's it. Yep,
it. They could
I
push
have
it like
done
you don't
that.
know what you're encountering. So I don't even like to even open the door.
And
So I
in
opened the
New
door.
York, we would hear the bell ring, and I would yell out to the kids, "Y'all got somebody coming over?" And if they say no, we wouldn't even go answer the door. We wouldn't even look to
No,
even see who it was, because coming unannounced, I didn't play that. You're not coming to my house unannounced. You
no.
on your way, call
And
me or say something, but you're
call
not
me
just gonna show up
exactly,
at my
or
door.
you text me. I'm outside. I've done that, and I've my friends.
Right,
I'm outside. Okay, cool. I'm
right.
coming, and I go to the door. There's no actual docking because we have a relationship. So she has my number, and people who come and canvas. Oh, don't listen. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
What? Why? I go. I work hard all day. The evenings are mine to enjoy for myself. You're not included in sorry, not sorry. I'm having my nice quiet evening. I was playing game and then I had Tori's brain last night, or you're typing the answers quickly in the phone.
Hmm.
Don't everyone know, don't bother me when I'm playing Tori's brain. I have to be
Okay.
fast. I have to be fast to get the thing type in there. Otherwise I
And I
miss my
missed I
chance.
missed a couple of nights. We were
I
this is
said,
my daughter's week, her birthday, and we celebrate. And I missed a couple of
and you're coming to come
Fridays.
and bother me. I'm gonna try to type in the answer
Okay.
and get the thing in there fast. I said, people have called me. Are you listening? No, no, hold on. Round two, round 10. I'm typing. And all they hear is, I'm going to tell you some things. Who is that? I said,
Okay.
and then now he got a new song last night. He has a new song,
Really?
a soca song. I said, he has a soca song, a
He
reggae
like,
song.
he liked
Um,
he liked those songs, those music.
and it,
Yeah.
no, but it's an original song, and they're singing the Dream Team, like it's his lyrics, like
Okay.
Dream Team's
I
on
gotta go
fire, the
listen to
party
it.
train. He had them made to like go with it, and he has an
For
Uncle
the
Bubba
channel.
song. Oh
Okay.
my God, Uncle Bubba song he has going. I'm like, what? And we're having dance. I don't got time to hear your problems right now, man. Call me later. Click. The Dream Team is on fire, but I have time for this right now.
Okay.
Hey, Jeremy and Cheryl. I
Grand
don't got
Rising,
time,
Jeremy and
but
Carl.
I'm they're making everything illegal. Over here, I saw an ad and I thought it was fake, and someone goes, no, they're trying to even like regulate supplements.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah, big
"Oh,
time. Anything that is going to help us, they're going to put like restraints on it, because being sick is a big business. Being
big,
healthy is not.
big
I mean,
business.
being healthy is a big business too, but not for the psychopaths that are in charge.
No.
Being sick is more, they want you in that state.
And a lot of
And
people since 2020 are, especially your vitamin D, because most of us, especially people of color, we need vitamin D in a colder climate, and certain things that people have been taking to keep themselves healthy because they
Mhm.
don't want to be in the hospital and the sick
Right,
care
right,
system. And now you're taking you're regulate, like, why do you care about this category now?
right.
Because it kept a lot of people out of the hospitals that you tried to pack up to
But
the
I
brim.
thought that was the
Up.
thing.
You
What I
couldn't pack
thought
them
that
up.
was the thing, though. I thought that's what they wanted to happen, not to overrun the
They want that
hospital
to
with
happen, but we didn't get sick enough, obviously. And then when you mentioned earlier about the truth coming out, look how quiet
hmm
that truth is. It's a whisper, but all the
hmm
propaganda was loud, loud, loud. I couldn't turn on the TV, radio. I couldn't
without.
turn on the internet, my phone.
Look how
What's gonna
many
happen?
doctors lost their license telling the truth.
Telling the
And now
truth.
the truth is coming out, and they lost their license over. Because my thing was, why would a doctor be in practice for 30, 50 years, 20 years, and now all of a sudden just come out and tell you nonsense? You
That's
know,
what
to
I'm
put to
saying.
jeopardize their license, and know it could jeopardize their license. Why would they come out and tell you something that wasn't factual? Do
And
you
how
know
can
that there's a
somebody
country, there's a
mhm.
country that's suing their government for making them take the using that, what's that, the thing they use to take the test to tell if
Oh,
say
the
you had the
whatever you call it.
thing,
That yeah. That liquid, that thing that's in the test thing. The
not the, but the test, the test itself, because
yeah.
a judge now said that that test cannot determine
No,
if you have an illness. Only a doctor is supposed to diagnose, not a
correct.
test.
Correct.
So now even that is coming out. But even the inventor of that test, I seen a
Said it
video
wasn't for
with
that.
him. Exact. And do you know that he's not alive today?
A lot of people are somehow not alive today. And what doesn't make sense to me, everyone does, I don't even care anymore. I'm too old for start to care. People believe the propaganda. Fine, you believe it. But adamantly saying somebody is wrong when something is so new anyways and we don't really understand it, it
Right.
doesn't make sense how you're so adamant that
Right.
this is it and this is how it's like. Even that didn't make any sense. How can
Right.
you be so adamant? You don't
Right.
know. We're in a new, this is a
Right.
quote unquote new thing, right?
Right. Right.
So I sit back and I laugh because I'm at a point now. If you tell me A, I'm going to B without even
You have
thinking,
to. You
without
have
even
to.
researching.
You
I
have to
know in
stop
my
and wait and
spirit.
think about what's being said to you. You cannot
No, I
react
know in my
to
spirit, whatever
anything.
you tell me, do the complete opposite, and I'm going to be just fine. And then when I start to dig deeper, it's going to confirm what because, oh, black people were laughing and making a mockery out of certain treatments. I'm not going to name the treatment, but for the worms and for the animals. That
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have an opinion either way. The point is, it's a new thing. We don't know.
But you know, that's not new. They've been using that for the last,
Not
they
new
say,
as in
30,
new, but
50
new
years.
as in like this illness is
We're just
new.
hearing about it. It's new
Yeah,
to
this
us.
illness
We're
is
just hearing
new.
out. But that thing been there for the last, they've been using that for the last 50
Sorry,
years.
there were two things. There was one thing for the animals, and the thing that they use in Africa for the mosquito bites. We're not going to call the
Mm.
medication, but those two
Right,
medications.
right, right.
One was
Mm-hmm.
here for a long time. The other one was here too for a long time, but it's for
Right,
animals. So they're like, even if it doesn't work, it wasn't
right,
adding any harm. That's the way I
right.
view it.
Exactly,
If you have an
exactly.
illness, you don't know how to treat it, you're
Right.
trying X, Y, it's not working. And the
Mm-hmm.
person is saying, let me just try this. I don't have a problem with it because when you're in the
Right,
situation, you're just trying to find something that's going to work because the person's
right,
deteriorating.
right,
If
right,
you find people, doctors who have tested this and it's working,
right. Why
why
not
are you
use it?
shutting them up when they have? Because
Right,
a testing population means you have case studies. You're not just
right,
talking out your behind. Those are
right,
actual case studies. My
right,
opinion is study why it worked. Don't tell
right.
me, oh, that's garbage and making fun of people. So you made so much noise talking about people are stupid and you're dumb. Guess what? The people of us who kept silent and were listening for facts
Mm-hmm.
and why it was working.
Mm-hmm.
You know why it was working? The short form answer is because it killed the parasites. Because that's what a
Mm-hmm.
dewormer is. A worm is a
Right.
parasite. And if most
Mm-hmm.
people in America have parasites, we all have
Right.
parasites. What does that do? This is
Make you sick.
old science. It helps replicate the bad thing multiple times. So the
Mm-hmm.
sickness you're trying to treat keeps multiplying, and the parasites keep multiplying it and passing it through the body. Hey, Rock, through the body. I'm not a
They're
scientist. I'm not
rising
telling you
up.
this is my opinion. So
Right.
you making fun of a dewormer, which is a anti-parasitic drug, which humans usually take if they're full of parasites, but we don't diagnose people with parasites in North America because we don't believe in that. We believe in symptomology. We don't believe in root
Yep.
causes.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
they made fun of the people, call them idiot, stupid, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? The fact of the matter is they've now allowed it to be used, but nobody heard that announcement on the and the them places
Right.
have put down that you can use that.
Right.
The drug in Africa that was so cheap to produce, they didn't want that cheap drug because there was no
Right.
medical contracts with those companies when that
Right.
would have worked.
Right.
So
It's
while
all
everyone's
about the money.
fighting
It's
over
not about
politics
you having
and
good
oh
health.
you're
It's
dumb
all about
and
the
you're wearing a
money.
diaper on your face, blah 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 and blah 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 and blah
Did
blah
you
blah.
did you hear did you hear about how many billionaires was made over that time and period?
The best thing we did was buy stocks in those three companies. Best thing.
Yep.
Hey, juice mixture used to replace that. Most of the problems in our health, most of the problems, not all. This is not medical advice. This is a conversation. Go get your own research and don't call urban name when something go wrong with you. Anyways, parasites. And I'm watching Yaki Awaken. I'm watching different people. I watched a
Mhm.
video this morning before I went
Mhm.
live about parasites, and they replicate illnesses. There is one that replicates rheumatoid arthritis. There's a
Mm.
parasite that gives you the symptoms, and you think it's these things that you have. Am I yelling? I'm just getting hyped. You're thinking it's these things that you have, but the root cause is a parasite. And some of the
Mhm.
parasites can transform into another parasite if it's not getting enough multiplication and reproduction.
Mm.
Literally. So when people find that something's working, don't mock them and say, oh, you're dumb, dumb, dumb. They're not dumb people. These are scientists who have done a lot of study and a lot of research. But if they're
Yes.
telling you something is
Yes.
working, maybe figure out
Yes.
why it's
Yeah.
working. What
Yeah.
in it is causing the positive effect in the human body? That's a conversation. There was no
Right.
conversation in 4 years. It was
No.
like,
But
oh, you guys are stupid.
some
You
of
don't
the
care.
yeah, that's what some of the doctors were saying, that science is not like this is the science and that's it. He says science is we all sit to the table and
And
come
bring
with
the
what we
knowledge.
and have a conversation about it.
Correct.
We don't just come with one side and say this is it and that is it. They said
And then
science
you
does not work
isolate
like
what
that.
is working and why it's working. And once they isolate
Right.
that, they can say, okay, then we can do this, and this can be beneficial to all people. All people. But
And then
because of
they
the blindness,
viruses is supposed to be isolated. They never isolated the so-called COVID. It was never isolated. So my thing
no.
was you were testing. If they never isolated this thing, that means they don't have it. So when you were tested and they told you it was positive, tested, what was it tested against?
And even, I don't like to say too much because I don't know. I think I'm crazy. I literally think
No,
that
you ain't
I'm the
crazy.
crazy
They try
one
to make
and
you
everybody
seem
else
like
is
you
sane because
crazy.
I don't think how other people, like, I think I'm the one that's, because in 4 years, I've been alive, your grandparents been alive, and nobody can stop the common cold. Now you're telling me in 2020, if I take something, it will stop the transmission, but you
But you
can't
know
stop the common
now,
cold.
no, but urban now, the psychopaths are saying that in their tests, they did not test to stop transmission.
It was never the case. It was a lie. It was never to
Well,
stop
I
transmission.
knew from the beginning
That
it
was
was
a
a lie.
marketing
I
ploy,
never
and
believed
the
it from the
masses
beginning.
followed them like idiot. Oh yeah, it stopped. You gotta stop the. How can you stop transmission? You can't even stop salmonella on cucumbers.
But you know what I just heard? I just heard a doctor also say that when you have a real pandemic, mass um mass vaccination would actually make it worse. You don't mass vaccinate people when you have something going on. He said that's
Because
the
you want
worst
to
thing
build
you could
herd.
do.
When people talked about the herd, the herd. I don't want to say every
Right.
word because the AI will pick. When they talk about the herd, um, you're not gonna get that if everyone's taking the
Right.
same Kool-Aid, drinking the
Right.
same Kool-Aid.
Right.
You
Right.
need,
Right.
and then
Right.
the truth of the matter, the truth that was told in the beginning, people forgot the truth. The truth
Mhm.
is children and healthy adults didn't really need it. If you
Right.
are immunocompromised and have serious, then yes, maybe you need it. But
Right.
you're right. This mass thing and forcing everybody, that
Right.
makes
Right.
no damn sense. If people are healthy and
Right.
can pass through their body and they build a
Mhm.
natural resistance, that's what you want. If you ask any veterinarian and people who handle animals, do you want to keep mass giving them mass Kool-Aid? No, because that
Right.
animal is going to be dependent on it and it's going to
Right.
affect their overall health. You want them
Right.
to naturally build a resistance to pests
Mhm.
and parasites by
Mhm.
keeping them healthy. And
Right.
health comes
Right.
through the food. And they ignored all the common denominators and were,
Mhm.
oh, we have the solution. We have the
Right.
solution right here. We're going to sit. Listen here. When have they ever given me a solution to save my life, my people's life, my
Well,
ancestral people's
first of
life?
all,
When have
you
they given me a good
you
solution?
did you know that those
Smallpox
things
blankets. Remember the smallpox blankets?
did you
When they
know
give you
that
something, run.
they had a
Again, my
patent
opinion,
on
not medical advice.
those juices? You know they had a patent on those juices, right?
So how you have time to get patent and trademark on something, and it's such a fast, quick, fast moving, quickly evolving. You got some of these people.
Just supposedly had been made. You got a patent
People
on it
came for
already.
my neck. People came for my neck. Medical people came for my neck.
And then you know with some of them now, they're trying to apologize and say, we didn't know better. No, you do know
You
better.
did know better.
You
You knew
do
not
know
to
better.
force people, keep people in the hospital alone to dead because they couldn't let their family in because it's
Yeah.
this thing. And then the people who worked in the front line were then still forced to take something that they already built an immunity to because they've been working there for two. Like, make it make sense. I
It
wore
don't.
the napkin just to wear it to get to my groceries and do what I got to do and keep it moving.
We didn't, you know
No,
what reminded me?
I'm not fighting with normal people.
I didn't mask up because the first thing came to my mind was what they did to our ancestors when they used to
Yes,
put the muzzles on them, and the iron muzzles. So I said, "Oh, so now you think I'm going to self muzzle?" Oh no, I'm not self muzzling. That's
but you
not
guys
going to
had a
never
choice.
happen.
You guys had a choice it was optional. When it was optional here, it was optional. Then it became mandatory. You would not be served or
Some
serviced.
places, well, I was rebelling wherever I went. If you told me I had to leave, then I just had to leave because
Yeah.
I wasn't going to self muzzle. I was working at the Big A at the time, and I would just put it around my ears, but I wore it under my neck. I never put it
You never,
over
yeah.
my
I
face.
wear
I
a
would just
mask.
put it on my neck.
Yes.
One of the
Not
managers,
for that.
they came to me and asked me. They said, why you don't have your mask on?" I said, first of all, they didn't run AC or heat in the area where we work.
Oh,
I said,
no. You
it's too
can't. That's
hot.
too much.
I said, it's too
No.
hot in here. That's why I don't
Yeah.
have it
No.
on.
Yeah.
So then
That's not
he
fair.
just walked away and left me alone. And then another lady came to me because I don't do the fear tactics on the job. You're not going to be trying to scare me. That don't
With
work
that.
with me.
Yeah.
I'm an adult. You're going to either come to me and talk to me like an adult, but the scaring stuff is not gonna. I'm not doing that. Like they was doing where they had people come and was standing around and watching what was going
Watching. Yeah.
on. And then one of the managers came to me and said, put your mask on when you see so and so. I said, well, send so and so to me because I'm not putting no mask on. You scared of them? Send them to me. Let them come talk to me about my mask.
They the whole thing is ludicrous, and it's like I haven't forgotten, and I hope I never forget because when it happens, or when something happens again, I need to know how to move quickly and move accordingly.
Yes,
Because
yes,
this mob mobilizes too quickly. It didn't make when it comes to health, you cannot control people, first of all.
that
And it's
part.
never about what somebody else is. It's about your own health status.
Right,
These things are
right,
flying in the air. In my house, there's certain things flying right now, for all I know.
right,
There's things
right, right,
passing through insects, there's parasites, there's all kind of things happening at a microscopic level. What
right,
you do and what you're wearing is not going to help me or hurt me either way.
right, right,
Me
right,
keeping myself healthy is what we were responsible for. And they
right,
did not put any emphasis or enough on individual getting healthy.
right,
People could still
right,
be morbidly obese, doing all kind of foolishness.
right,
No, you have to be healthy. It's not about
right.
protect your neighbor and protect your friend and it's all about protecting each other. When have you cared about me? And I said that when have
Right.
anybody cared about anybody? And why am I gonna start
Yeah.
now?
Right.
We're
But what
family.
about this? Okay, you scaring me with one thing that you said could kill me, but yet I'm still driving. I could die in a car accident.
Yep.
There's like a million and one other things that I can die from, but yeah, I'm supposed to run from this one thing you're scaring me with.
And a
And
lot of
we
people
don't
did
even
die
know
from other
how we're
things.
gonna pass. How we gonna pass away? So why should I run from this one thing? If it be this one
Exactly.
thing, let it be this one thing. But I'm not gonna run from this one thing you're trying to scare me with,
No.
as though this one we were once before. We wasn't dying before, and all of a sudden now this thing come along and it's our kryptonite. It makes
Well,
no
the
sense.
real kryptonite was the obesity and the other problems, which is what was a real problem. Because
That
the real issue was those people who had, what's that big word? Commable morbidities,
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
pre-existing
Hmm.
condition. Let me see that big
Yeah.
word there. Those people are the ones that were more likely dropping like flies. So you
But
can't
you know
blame
what?
the
We can't
illness.
even believe that now, Urban, because now what were they saying? They didn't die of COVID, they died with COVID. Like, what
Well,
kind of
yeah,
word game playing are y'all doing right now?
that was always the case. If you had a heart attack, they put C down. If you
Right.
had something else, they put
And
C
and you
down.
know why though, right? Because they were getting paid. The hospitals
Paid.
were getting paid. You know how I see the medical industry has really made themselves look really, really bad. To me, this is my opinion.
Hmm.
That if something was to really happen, y'all are not there for the people. People in the medical industry, and this is my opinion,
Hmm.
they will literally unalive somebody to keep their freaking job.
Yes. But I also think that I agree with you with a caveat. I believe the medical over here, anyways, I can't speak for the whole world, but I know here the medical practitioners, nurses, anybody were controlled by the mandates from the government who have no medical knowledge, skill, or ability. And instead of them saying, no, let us make
Right,
medical decisions based on
right.
science and don't
Facts.
tell us how to treat
Right,
each individual person,
right.
they were controlled by
But you,
puppets,
but you,
peers.
but you have a. That's what I'm saying, Urban. They had a choice, and they did not. To me, they didn't choose the right choice. You had a
Yeah.
choice, and I
But the choice
understand that
was
your job
lose
was
your
at risk.
license, lose your financial, what you're used to living with, because we're living in
Right,
a debt,
but
as you said,
see,
we live in a debt system,
this is what we
and
need
you
to
can't
pay
feed your
attention
family,
to.
you can't go
We
on
need to pay
vacation,
attention to this.
you can't
What
travel.
people will do if something happened and they are threatened by their life thing,
Their
what they
lives,
will
yeah.
do to you to keep it. This is
That's
what we got
that's
to pay attention
exactly,
to.
this was a social experiment.
Hmm.
And those who failed miserably,
Oh,
and
yes,
then they
they
want to
did.
come and apologize. Now, oh,
No, no, no. I'm not a
mark
no.
them,
You don't get
mark
no.
them,
You don't
because it's
get to
gonna, when they come
apologize
again, they're
to
gonna
me.
sell you out. They're
Yes,
gonna sell you out. If
because
you
even
are
even
relying
with even with
on the
the
system,
they running around with the so-called civil war, and I'm like, with who? With who? Who? Nobody can say with who. Or if mandatory stuff. I said, pay attention to that. They making these rules, but what we need to look at, forget about the rules, because they can make rules. These people who make the rules do not. The rules have to be. Somebody has to enforce the rules.
and for, yeah,
Who's going to enforce the rules? Your next door neighbor, not the people who's making the rules. That's what you got to look at. If they make these
exactly.
rules, who is going to decide not to enforce it? Because they're not going to enforce the rules. They're going to make them,
No.
but it's going to be your next door neighbors who they're going to tell to enforce it.
And that's what happened here. Companies were enforcing rules because
Right.
they couldn't make a private company make things
Do
mandatory.
anything.
And the
No.
companies made it
No.
mandatory to stay employed. You
Yes.
have to take the X, the Y, or the Z to stay
Right.
employed. And it's like, and then even another company, my friend was working there. They're working from home. This person has been a home employee before the pandemic. It wasn't a result of, she was already a home employee. And the company made it mandatory to take the one or the two or the three, the injection. And people ratted her out basically. Well, she should have to take it too, and blah 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 blah. I've been working home, minding my business for 15 years, minding my business. You have
Mm-hmm.
never even met me in person because I don't work in the office. But
Right.
because these things came down, now everybody's, oh, well, bougie, oh, this, and throwing everybody under buses. When you
Mm.
could just mind your own damn business,
Yeah.
keep your mouth shut. No, 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 no. Well, she should have to do it too, but she's never in the office. So
And
why
you
is there
know
a
what that
concern?
is? That's going to show, like you said, a social experiment. Who is going to step in to police, help them police everybody else?
It's the same ones right now who don't have a garden, who are following the masses, have the electric car, who have their 2.3 children, and who go on vacation once a year. Them the people, those people, the ones you have to worry about. The people out here smoking ganja, minding their damn business, growing grass and animals and break it. Those are the ones that will work together with you. The ones
Mm-hmm.
that conformists, look out for them. And a lot of the
Yeah,
conformists are in your
because
family.
you
I
had
haven't seen
a
certain
lot of
family in 4 years. I haven't seen
those
them since
people.
2019. No, 2020, when the funeral, my mother funeral. I haven't seen them. And the cousins that I wasn't really close with, me realized we had the same mindset. Those are
Mm,
the ones I need to start bonding with, not the other one them, the
mm-hmm.
conformists. The other ones them did not conform, and them stand up. I said, all
Right,
right, I need to connect
right,
with these ones, and those are the ones I'm kind of rolling with now. Because
right, right.
even your family, your blood family, nah, there's people in there you have to kind of cut off. They will rat you out.
Yeah,
Their
that's what
lifestyle
happens.
is too important
I
to them.
ran into one lady in the supermarket who, like, she didn't say anything to me, but I could tell by her the way she was looking at me. You know how when you're doing your own thing and people just will you to look at them because they
Yeah,
staring so hard. And she just I'm on the phone finding out from my daughter what to get, and she just willed me to look up and look at her like she's giving me the serious why you don't have on a mask, and I'm looking back at her effing find out.
and that was me in the beginning. I got caught up with the proper, and I said, hold on, oh, listen, me not really care what people do. Just don't come in my face and cough in my face. Then I have a problem.
That part,
Then I want to punch you left, right, up, and down. But
which was
allegedly,
rude in the beginning. Like,
it's
what
rude
happened
now,
to the cover your mouth or turn
right?
away or walk
But
away?
I
Those
just
these are the
I just
things that was
space out.
already in play.
I just space out, no problem. It's when people who don't want to wear it, fine, come right
Right.
in your space to go pick the one berry that you're picking too. And I'm looking at you like, bitch, you may be my elder, but I'll punch you. Because you didn't have to come to the ginger right now when I'm at the ginger. Then you go to the turmeric, they're there too. All of a sudden, you have to buy the same thing I'm buying at the exact same time.
Well, personal space, it don't even have to need to be nothing to be going on. You need to be giving people their personal space. First of all, you ain't
And they're
gonna be
not.
all up on me.
They're not
That
giving me
we
personal
not
space.
doing.
I want 6 feet pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. Give me my 6 feet.
Okay.
I was
It
always
was
six
6 feet
feet. Not
before
new for me.
the shenanigans
That's
happened.
not new for me. Me always with the 6 feet. I don't
You
want to
know
smell
what
your
it,
toothpaste, your
and I was
cologne, your
always like
armpits.
that.
I don't want to smell nothing on your body. Just leave me alone. When we finish, I will move and let you have the free
Right.
access to the berries and the ginger. Leave me
But you
alone.
know what? I was always like that. Like when I would go into the bank and I'm online, you know how everybody's like this? I'm
Yeah.
standing over here because I don't want you that close up
No. And
behind me.
behind me. And
Like
then
I'm
behind. Yeah, I
standing
don't
on the
like that.
opposite side of the line because, and then I'm not even that close to the person in front of me.
No, I hang
So
back.
I've always been like that. Not because I mean like personal space, like why you up on me, close up on me like that? I didn't like that, from the jump. So
I was always that way. And it's like, nah, man. So I'm just moving differently as a result because it's just weird. People are weird. People
mm-hmm.
are too concerned about what each other's doing and why
Yeah,
aren't you following the rules and why aren't
yeah.
you listen here. You know pay my bill, you know wash my frock, you don't
Okay.
brush my teeth, you don't nothing. I mind my business and you go mind your business. Stay out of my
hmm
space, I'll stay out of your space, no problem. But when everyone's in, oh, and she and you're Let me tell you something. The same way all they did was prove that you will follow whatever directive you're gonna get,
Yep.
and you will
Yep.
rat your brother and sister out. So now
Yep.
the next one's gonna be so much easier for them and so much harder for us who don't want to conform, because now they're gonna make it more
Well, it
difficult.
should be. I'm hoping for the opposite.
I'm gonna
Now that
that's why I buy my tent.
everything that they was calling a conspiracy, now everybody is, whoever's paying attention and seeing that it was not a conspiracy.
Yeah,
That
but
people
it's so
were telling the
quiet.
truth.
I have not seen any news about the trial or the whatever you call it with the
Well,
with
they're
the
not
group.
gonna double back and be like, I mean, some of them
They
are double
should,
backing
but
and
I'm
lying
tired
and
about
saying we didn't know,
the
or
Trump
acting
court case
surprised
about
that
paying off your
they
skettle.
lied to us. No, you knew they were lying from the beginning. Stop it, Cinco.
We knew, but the point is now that they're quiet about the investigation, and you can't hear nothing. I haven't heard Fukuchi's name mentioned in the news.
Oh no, they doing a circus thing with him now. You didn't see it?
Oh, maybe I missed that. All I heard was
Yeah,
Trump, Trump, Trump.
they having
I
a
don't
circus
care about
trial.
Trump and
No,
his skettle.
they
All of
having
you have side chicks. Why is this news? You all have side chicks, and you give them an allowance. So how is this news? Even the guys who are here, regular men who make 50K have side chick, and they give them little allowance, and they expense it on their family expenses. This is nothing new. Why is the whole jury, judge, and trial for a side chick? Stormy Daniels' name is in too many people in mouth. She should be erased from the record. I don't want to hear Stormy Daniels' name. Me don't want to hear about Lewinsky name. Me don't want to hear more side chick name. They all
you
have
know
side
that
chick. Them
it's
rotate side chick. Them have girls, call girls, and high class escorts. This is nothing
mm-hmm,
new.
mm-hmm,
They all do it. All of them.
mm-hmm,
Even all your favorite
mm-hmm,
man, them do it. They all have the side chick. The wife is there
mm-hmm,
to do the picture and the portrait and the so and so. And when she left, she gone about she business and then gone about him business.
mm-hmm,
That's how they be living, and they keep the money in the family. They don't like each
mm-hmm.
other. They can't even stand each other. This has been going on. Have you seen Melania? Is she even still alive? Where is Melania?
Hmm. Is that those people that like to play the kings and
Trump
the
wife,
queens?
the
Oh,
last one.
really?
Where is she? Where is she? I see her.
Wow.
Where is she? She not gone, but she don't come around. She didn't come to the courthouse. She done business with him.
Mm.
She done
You
business with
know,
him.
I didn't even,
She not
I
care about the
don't
Stormy. She go
follow
have
them up like
Stormy.
that.
She not care.
Mm.
She don't care. This is what you sign up for in certain lifestyles. This is
Mm-hmm.
what it is. And
Mm-hmm.
people want to act
Mm-hmm.
like, oh no, we married for love. No, you love the
No, some of them don't.
lifestyle.
Some of them don't marry for love. It's not about
None
love.
of them
No,
do. It's
no.
lifestyle. We
Yeah,
have a goal, and we can get to this goal
right,
together.
right.
That's what it
Mm-hmm.
is. It's a bit marriage is a business
Yep,
relationship. She
yep.
didn't marry no poor man on the street. That would have
Mm-hmm.
been maybe for love. She married a wealthy, not very good looking, crass, multi man who have no manners and don't know how to talk to people, but him have money and him have power.
Mm-hmm.
All of them do it. Every last you can. I think even all the dementia man have had side chick. Maybe not now because he's not too right in his head, but even him did have somebody. All of them. Like we acting like it's oh my god, it's so unethical. What do you? There's
And
nothing new
everything is
under
not for
the
everybody.
sun.
Just because it's not something you would do, you can't condemn it because it's something somebody else chooses to do.
There's
And
nothing
what does it
new
got to do with you
under the.
anyway? How is it affecting you in your
That's
life?
what I'm saying. I don't care who you're sleeping with. It don't matter. I don't care about the diddler. I don't care what he's not affecting me. If what's affecting me is innocent girls, and it's fine. If that's what's going on, then you need to charge people
Mm-hmm.
with the crimes that they've committed, because what
Mm-hmm.
goes around comes around. But don't be acting like, oh, we didn't listen. People knew people's hands are dirty because people can't do those things without helpful team members perpetrating and covering up for them and giving them
Mm-hmm.
access to things. This is a
Mm-hmm.
business. This is a
Mm-hmm.
pool of people. This is a ring, a gang ring. And I talked about this last year. They all know where the children are that are missing, and the women, they know where they are. Then they haven't left the country. They know where they are. This is a big business. It's wickedness in high
Mm-hmm.
places.
Mm-hmm.
So all this news media is the distraction. The diddler was a
Mm-hmm.
whole distraction. And then why is the tape coming out now with him thumping down the gal in 2016? Do I condone it? No. But why is the tape coming out
Because his
now?
time is up. His time is up.
His
That's what it
time
is.
was up because she can't charge him for that. The statute of limitation
The
has passed.
limitation passed.
But they can assassinate your character in public opinion
Right. That's
and
what this
ruin you in
is.
the
That's
other
what's
ways.
happening. Yeah, it's
So,
a character thing.
and just a distraction tactic. What's happening?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they want to ban supplements and other things that are going to
Mm-hmm.
affect people and affect our longevity and things like that. Look at what's
Mm-hmm.
happening in the quiet news media.
Right.
All the
Yeah. And
distractions.
I think the orange man is another distraction. That whole
Distraction.
shenanigans is another distraction as
When
to what's
I was
really
wondering
going
what's being
happening
charged
going
for.
on.
I was like, what's Orange Man being charged for? So we finally sit down and there's a lovely chart on what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you mean side chick in hush money? No, doesn't everybody pay hush money? Doesn't everybody pay hush money? Even people in office now. You don't think some of them didn't pay hush money? So why is his hush money more deadly than other people's hush money, more criminal than other people's hush money? People right now paying hush money for the blue and yellow because them send all kind of things like guani, and they put the other guy in office and the man who was elected, the U.S. government involved themselves in yellow and blue. There was hush money paid over there too. There's hush money paid over recently in the Middle East. There's hush money over there. There's things going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's things going on.
There's a lot of things going on that we not seeing.
So why are we talking about Orange Man hush money?
A
And
distraction.
after him pay the hush money, she never hush. Does that hush money means hush? Stop talk. And that woman talks so damn much, I want to go and thump her myself. You chat too much. Side chick is supposed to be quiet. There's rules of engagement, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not. If you agree to be a side chick, there are rules of engagement when you're at that level.
Yep.
And if you can't play by the rules, don't get involved.
Don't play in the game. Exactly.
All what the chef name? Gordon Ramsay had side chick, had mistress, long-term mistress. And she did talk a little bit, but she stopped talk now. Because she must have realized, say, shut up your mouth.
And it does, I get whatever, but it really doesn't help you because you knew what the situation was when you got into it.
Hello.
So by now you talking, you just really making it worse for you. Because now people are seeing what you are as the person who, was seeing this married person. So by you saying something, what really you think is going to put a light on you, a good light on you?
You exchange that. You offered a service for money. Yeah. It's the oldest profession under the sun. You can cloak it under escort. You can cloak it under mistress. You can cloak it under side chick, girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Oh, he was going to leave his wife for me. You can cloak it under whatever category that makes you sleep at night. Right. It's the oldest profession under the sun. You got your money. Shut up and go live your best life with the money that you gained from those mutual exchanges, because it was mutual. He got something, and you got something, and leave it there. Let the dogs lay and mind your business. Leave it alone. Don't worry about him and his family and his wife and whatever. If his wife ain't bothering you, why you stirring up the pot for? And I couldn't believe the whole court case was made. Hey, ARD was made on that. Are you wasted my life, weeks of my life watching this foolishness for paying off hush money, and he didn't put it down in the right category? Was that what it was? He didn't declare it as side chick. He put it under clerical instead of sketa, or he put it under campaign. He put it under something else.
But wasn't
Really?
he what but wait, didn't I hear it wasn't even really him that paid it? Wasn't it the friend that paid it?
So how do you have a third party brokering a deal, but you're taking me to court? You're taking me to court. Does that make sense? I'm confused because the whole point of a third party is to remove culpability from you and put it onto the third party. No, 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 no. Them loop, them find loop and Mister,
Hmm.
these people just don't like you. You're not
A,
playing by their rules. I'm the orange man.
asked the question.
Um, does 2.3 colon no does 2.3 kids mean you have two kids you take care of and the third kid you take care of 0.3% of the time? I'm asking for a friend. I don't know how to get the point, the average, these average numbers. Maybe the 0.3 is a side chick who didn't have the child, and then you keep, getting her pregnant multiple times, but then she don't have the child. Maybe that's the 0.3.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. But I found that whole thing ridiculous. And people will
Yeah,
spend their
see,
weeks and life talking about it.
Virginia Bush Travel put it in. It said Cohen paid Daniels and it was entered as a legal expense.
Expense, taxpayers' money wasted. But they're not wasting money right now, sending money to all over the place for
Hmm.
these wars that don't belong to you. Is that the same damn thing? So shouldn't the government be taking themselves to court? I'm still confused.
Now, isn't that something your lawyers do for you? Don't sometimes they upfront money for you and then they get it back? Don't they? Isn't that something a practice that lawyers do for their long term
When you're
clients
audited,
anyway?
when you're audited, usually when they are fair, they usually give you a chance to make the corrections or they
Mm,
fine you for
yeah, yeah,
misallocating in the
right,
wrong
right,
category. Because it wasn't
right,
like he didn't document it. It was just misclassified. Most
right,
times they'll fine you for misclassifying it, but it's not like, it's a clerical error. It's not an
right,
overt
right. It's not no
misrepresentation.
need for a whole trial for it.
Correct. But the fact that they went through all this, it's just like, you just don't like the Orange Man. You just don't like the Orange Man. I don't know what he did. I don't know who he didn't pay off. I don't know who he didn't whatever. But it don't make no sense to go through all this for a quote unquote clerical error.
Right.
So next time, put side chick under something else, okay, people?
Miscellaneous.
Don't put it under legal expenses. Put it under entertainment, under
Mm,
entertainment category, or
mhm.
travel expenses and services rendered expenses. Put it under those categories because the legal expense is not the right one. It's all they had to do was fine him, but it's just getting under my nerves, under my skin. They can't just leave the man alone. The man paid her the money and she didn't keep quiet. He should ask for a full refund. I think even with the Bill Cosby case, I think if you paid out and you start talking, you must give the man a full refund. All the money must go back, plus the interest for the time it was
Mhm,
given to you to the current date and time where you don't keep your mouth shut.
mhm.
Full refund. Because on a chat too much.
Too
Once you
much.
take the money,
Okay.
you no book deal, no documentary, no TV prime
Okay.
time, none of that.
Okay.
So if you don't want the money, then you could do all those other deals. But you can't have it both ways. So this is just because interrupted their business. Exactly. They all want the same thing, money off the backs of the poor. I'm sick of it, to be honest. So I'm just laughing because I'm like, that man, I'm not saying I like him, but if the man paid hush money to the side chick, like he's not the first and he's certainly not the last. And if you're gonna, all you're doing is telling all the other ones to change their books from legal expense to now entertainment, dining, and travel. Okay, all you rich men that are having the side chicks, this This is how you do it for future reference, just in case you're audited by the government of
Okay.
America.
Hmm.
That's just such a foolishness. And before I forget, June 25th is the last update for the
Yeah.
Herb Garden Challenge.
Wow.
We are
Yeah.
at the ending, the
Mm-hmm.
final weeks of the
Mm-hmm.
Planter HGC 2024. And it's
Mm-hmm.
been an exciting race. One
Yeah.
person tried to resign from the race, but we tell her she cannot resign. Too bad.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go all the way to the end, come hell or high water. So OCD's chick is back in the game, and it is what it is. However it turns out is however the herbs turn out. That's what we're all learning from each other, so that next year now we don't use Dollar Tree soil, and no one's gonna be using no
Mm-hmm.
Dollar Tree soil.
No.
That's the
Yep.
way it is. So we're almost there, guys, and it's going to be a lot of grand prizes for people. He listed the prizes, um, cash prizes. There's going to be, I think, seeds and planting supplies, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody donates a few other things. I can't remember, but $75 gift card.
G Mama, can you please email Planta to let him know the things that you are donating as gifts? Because he keeps
Yeah.
saying he doesn't remember what you said yet you was going to be giving.
Oh, I think she's doing a premiere now. Let me log into her thing. She's doing a premiere now. Hold on, let me go in.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's starting in 48 seconds. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to type in, hey, G Mama. We go into multiple chats at the same time while you're doing a live. So, G Mama, no, she's doing a premiere. I'm in there now. So, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming up, Bouger. I will
Okay, you're
share
welcome.
the Herb Garden challenges, but June 25th, look out for that. I will see you next week, God willing. And I can't resign. Well, no, it was you. I think you, yeah. If you did a video, you're not resigned, but Nikki was gonna resign. I said, no. Still drop more seeds and try again. We're all learning. But go to G Mama right now. She's premiering a video. So please head over there to G Mama and we'll watch her video starting right now. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. I'll see you next week. Peace out.